Yo, 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 yo. We're back at it again. It's your boy Ron. That's Leroy Green. Another episode of Rhyme and Reasons. We got Super Duper coming in the building. We got Servon coming in the building. Last week, y'all said y'all liked the four-man setup. You know, y'all like the meeting of the minds per se. They like Leroy with the lyrical breakdown, Super with the reality checks, Servon with that
Yeah.
younger perspective. So we bringing it back again tonight. It's gonna be a great show. Tonight we're gonna talk about the year 2010, what all was happening, where we were, what came out, what was popping. But I want to start the show off giving Leroy props for the latest installment of the critically acclaimed
Go
Goat
talk.
Talk series. Episode 5 came out last night. We focused on Lupe Fiasco. Got positive feedback. People was liking the breakdown. So
Yeah.
how did that go? How did that go, Leroy? What was your thought process going into the episode? How did you
Right.
decide that concept? How did that come about?
Well, I mean, the concept. Well, first of all, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? The concept is me just speaking what I really feel. You know what I mean? So it's like it's authenticity that is behind what I'm saying. So some people are going to be with that. Some people are not going to be with that. In the long run, I fear to be better off being authentic with the people than just going another route. So that's what they're seeing, and I have a unique opinion when it comes to hip hop. You know what I mean? Um, and that's what you're hearing. So it's going to be very different. So if it starts off one way and it builds until like minds see what's going on, it's not that my opinion is better than nobody else's. It's just different. You know what I mean? Only because I've been this has been my life. This has been my whole life. In the culture, as aware of a lot of us, as far as just being immersed in the culture, right? And sometimes that can even be tiring. Like today, I even woke up and I was just, I listen to so much music, it could start to wear you down. Even, you know what I'm saying? To where it's like you gotta take a break. You know what I mean? So and I still love it, you know what I mean, because that type of breakdown is where I'm planning on going in a certain area with some other people. So you'll see more of that, but it's just an honest opinion. Looking forward to what comes out later on at midnight tonight. But I saw that you had the topic of 2010, so I'm just gonna keep it real there too. You know what I mean? These are my real opinions, um, and they tend to go a little bit against the grain at times. It's not purposely. I'm not one of those counter guys that just want to be counter for the sake of being counter. I'm not like that. I really feel the way I be feeling. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and it comes across that way. I think people that love hip hop, they look at it from a lot of different perspectives, right? There's like the people that we call, the scholars. That are people that are more of the culture, that were part of the cultural elements, right? They like the fashion, the movies, the beats and the
mhm,
rhymes, the vibes of it, right? Now, this generation, you got what Super Duper called the vibers, right? Um,
mhm,
Servan's generation is a little bit of mix of both, right? He's bridging the gap between what was happening in the late 90s, the early 2000s, up into this new wave. So a lot of people look
yeah,
look at it differently. I think your approach to Goat Talk last night was more of a lyrical perspective and deciphering the lyrics and how lyricism, you can make an argument, you have certain goats that are the mainstream goats, the people that people will always pick, the Jays, the Nas, the Pox, the Bigs. But when we
mhm,
examine lyrics, I think it's good to kind of unpack some of that, right? So it was a good conversation. We
yeah.
got more Go Talks to come. Episode 5 is in the books. We got Servan in the building. What's going on? Super Duper about to join us in a minute. What's good, brother?
What's good, G?
Ain't nothing, man. We're gonna talk about the year 2010, and I was a little, you were probably at FAMU, I would think, in 2010. Is that correct?
That's facts.
So before we go down memory lane, you ain't got to get it all to the what was you doing out there moving around, but in Tallahassee. It's in Tallahassee, right?
Yes, sir.
What was the music like? What was you go back to 2010? What was you bumping? I know what was going on in 2010.
Bro, you had me go back to my old, like one of my old phones that had my music to go do the list of this. It was like it was interesting, bro, because it was like 2010 for me was more so the mixtape world. but the clubs was really popping in 2010. So it was a lot of big records that came out around that time. Um, it's so many different diverse like sets of music because you got Wiz, you get the Currency, you get the Cole, you even got Kendrick that year, you got Nipsey that year, but you also got the Waka Flocka. You know what I'm saying? You got Tiger, you got party joints. You got things going everywhere. And it was like an interesting year. I think like Gucci had like 2 or 3 mixtapes.
He did. He did. He had the Bird tape. The Bird tape came out. He had another tape that came out. He had about 3 tapes, 2 or 3 tapes that came out that year.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like T.I. had a tape, Rick Ross had a tape in the EP. Tiger had some joints. Like Tiger was moving in the mixtape lane around then. Chris Brown even had like 2 mixtapes, from what I remember.
Yeah.
I didn't really listen to Breezy mixtapes, but I did listen to one of them Tiger joints because I remember one of them joints. He had the chick Honey Cocaine on there. That's why I always remember her name. Yeah, man, it was an interesting year. It was like the output album wise wasn't that great, but you did get the intro. You got Drake. You know what I'm saying? Thank Me Later was 2010. But a lot of people wasn't really dropping albums that year. Nicki was big that year. She had like Pink Friday. But yeah, it was an interesting time, man. This when we got like people coming into their own and kind of forming like themselves, and then you got the mixtape world. But on the album side, it wasn't really that strong in 2010. Like it was really, if you was in the streets for real, if you was outside or whatever, I think you can like come to the idea of what 2010 was really like.
No
Hey,
doubt, no doubt.
that is
Super,
for
what's
sure
up,
right
brother?
there.
So,
What's
what was
good?
Really
going on in
good, y'all.
2010,
What's
bro?
happening? What's happening? Man,
What up? What up?
I think my list gonna surprise y'all. I've been on the move a little bit, so I
I
wasn't
got
able
my
to.
list up too.
I wasn't able to send it in to you, Ron. I know we like to do, set up the visuals and have it looking right, but I've been moving around. I've been gone for like a month and a half. But I want to before I get into the 2010, I really want to highlight some of this new music that's been dropping. And I'm still outside. Like I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm living the trucker lifestyle. So I club, I still go out. You know what I mean? I'm still out here. So I used to coach. So my link with the youth is extensive. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still hearing, I'm still running into things from different, different aspects of the game. So I'm all over the place when it comes down to my rap. And for me, I'm not really hard on if it's intellectual, if it's conceptual, if it's or if it's just straight up ignorant. I like a lot of shit. So you know what I mean? Like I think I'm real diverse with my hip hop. But if we comparing and we picking and choosing, then that's when it might sound like I'm stuck in my ways, but I really listen to all this shit. So
Now
I
it was
want
a
to
lot
just
of
highlight,
diverse music in 2010.
yeah, yeah, and it's been some good music this year from a lot of lesser known artists, and it just depends on the style of
I
music
agree.
that you into. You know what I'm
I
saying? It's
agree.
been some decent music out here. So one of the guys that I want to highlight for sure, and like I said, if y'all in the chat or watching this video on replay, pause this shit and go look up some of these guys that I'm talking about and see, pick and choose what you like. Because if we, like I said, I keep saying this over and over again when we do these shows, if we depended on the industry to feed us our music, we're gonna starve. Because right now, industry
Well,
ain't got nothing for us really majorly looking for. I mean, I was looking at things that were planned for release um
yeah.
for this year. I mean, the calendar is damn near empty. The only thing that I seen that was really on the calendar to come out is Lil Wayne. So I mean, other than that, it ain't really nothing major coming out here. So y'all gonna have to dig in the crates. Y'all gonna have to dig through YouTube. Y'all gonna have to dig through your Spotify playlist and find some shit that you like for real, straight up.
Hold on, real quick before you go. People are just gonna have to change their perception of what is dope. Like, and I don't just mean musically there. I mean, when we think of dope, we're looking at the hottest person on TV. What happens when rappers stop coming on TV? What you gonna do? What happens when rappers stop coming on the radio? What you gonna do? We're gonna talk about 2010 today, but 2010 in many ways is a disconnect from the label saying we're not funding you guys no more. We're not shooting
Yeah.
videos for you no more. We're not doing shit for you no more. So now what we see is the artist themselves is holding the camera, hiring the person to do this, that, and the third. So the audience has to get hip to that. We're still looking for a major entity, and that's gonna get dangerous now because, like I said, when Jack Harlow comes back through the door, we're gonna have to eat that crow that we've been hyping up this machine so much. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So, and
yeah,
that's
for
no
sure.
Jack Harlow. I some of his music I do like, so that's not even a shot. But he's a major entity. But that's all. But I go on with your list because I heard you a few of the guys you was posting the other day on the chat.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
y'all seen a lot of what I was saying because I was posting a lot
Yeah,
of this
Yeah.
shit in the chat. So y'all see what I'm saying. I'm diverse. I don't care if the shit is ignorant. I don't care if I don't care. I as long as it's
Yeah, I'm
dope
a West
and
Side Gunhead.
yeah,
I
as
like
long as it's
everything
dope,
like that too. I'm with
I
you.
don't really care. You can pick and choose what you like about the song, whether it's the beat, whether it's the lyrics, whether it's whatever. But don't judge me too hard because some of this shit y'all gonna be like, well, he listening to that, but don't be surprised. Like I'm telling y'all, don't be surprised what I'm liking. I'm not vouching for these dudes like they're gonna be sticking around the industry for a while, and they might just be some one hit wonders, and they might just remain in the underground. You know
Man,
what I
if you
mean?
like
But
it, you like it.
yeah, it is what it
Yeah.
is. But one of the first guys I want to highlight is a guy named Uncle Flip. He's a white rapper. He white. He he lyrical. He real nice. And I would say if I could compare him to somebody, I would say he like Action Bronson on Ozempic. You know what I mean? He a redhead, but he lyrically nice. You know what I'm saying? And some of these songs that you can go pick out. I mean, some of the ones that I highlight for myself are the intro for Acting Nice, Running Back, Wrong. You know what I mean? Like those are some nice tracks that I heard from him. So that's one of the guys that I will highlight. Another one is Trap Dicky. I've been really getting into Trap Dicky a lot lately because I just like his vibe. I like the little shit that he be rapping about. It sound cool when you ride in the car. And like I said, I'm still out here kicking it. So it's always a time and place for different type of music. You know what I'm saying? But some of his tracks that I like a lot are Yeah Yeah featuring Boosie, No Love, Bird Business, Blue Devils featuring the baby. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, pause the video, go check some of these dudes out. No Savage. Like I don't know if y'all heard of No Savage. It's a surprise that I can't say that I like a lot of his stuff, but I do like some of his songs. You know what I'm saying? And some of the songs I can definitely highlight from him. And all of these guys have dropped this year. So this is not like really, this ain't going back. This is 2025 music that I'm really highlighting to y'all right now. But some of the songs I like from No Savage are Road Runner and Made It featuring Honcho. Those are some bops. You know what I'm saying? So that shit go hard. Surprisingly, I like the Jello and Glorilla song.
I like that
Can you
joint
please?
too.
I like the video, man. He took me back
Right.
to my BET Uncut days. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And I like, yeah, I think Jello got a hit with that. I can't lie. It's a nice track. It's cool. It sounds good in the car when you riding. It sounds good outside. You know what I mean? Shaba Pivot is another guy. The song "A Few Songs" is nice. That's like I've been playing that shit on repeat since I heard it. You know what I mean? I'm just discovering a lot of these guys because, like I said, this is all new music. So Shaba Pivot, A Few Songs, Breakdown. He got the Janet Jackson "So Lonely" sample in there with the track. It's nice, and his song "Human Nature." It's Human Nature. That's the name of the track. But that shit is nice. You know what I'm saying? It's another one of those. He's one of those guys I would consider to be a lyrical guy. You know what I mean? He not as ignorant or whatever as a Trap Dicky, but he's more on the lyrical side. You know what I'm saying? And so same thing with Uncle Flip. Uncle Flip is more on the lyrical side. It's not just the vibe or it's just not because of the beats or just because he's spitting some ignorant shit. These dudes is really nice. So Shaba Pivot.
I heard that guy.
Another guy, and I got put on by this guy. My son put me on. I got a 15-year-old son. You know what I mean? So my son put me on to him, and it's Nino Pade. I don't know if y'all heard of him. Any of y'all heard of Nino Pade
Yeah,
before?
Nino Payne from the DMV, right?
I'm not sure where these dudes from.
Yeah, I think
I don't
Nino
care. I
Payne
don't
from
pick.
I think he's from the DMV. I think he's from the DMV.
But two of the tracks that I like from him for sure is The Old Me and What If We Made It. I like those tracks from Nino Pay. You know what I mean? Judge me, say what you want about it, but you know what I'm saying? It's like I said, it's not the most
That's good.
lyrical shit that you gonna hear. It's not the most lyrical shit you gonna hear out here, but it sound good. And that's how I like to judge my music. You
Hey,
know.
I was playing you St. John earlier this year. That ain't no lyrical. That ain't.
No. I
It's
just
St.
can't
John.
get to St. John, you know, but I get why you would like it though. I do understand. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not mad at you for liking St. John because he dope in his own ways. You know what I mean? Especially if you can feel it. Everybody got something that you can like from him, and depending on, I mean, if people out here praising and Playboy Cardi, I mean, it's a reason why people like it one way or another. So you know,
But real
people got.
quick, you see what LP just put in the chat right there? That's the era of unique people. So I mean that's like a barometer for me. That era, you know what I mean? So, but go
I
ahead.
can't see the.
I
But
got
another one, hey, Milwaukee's own Chicken P, man. Shout out to Chicken P, man. He making a lot of moves. Right now he's my son's favorite rapper. So I don't have no choice but to hear some of this shit from him. And I like it anyway. You know what I mean? You know, so shout out. He from Milwaukee. He got a nice cult following. And I don't know if he gonna ever make that next step to blow up all the way, but he has some nice tracks. You know what I'm saying? And a few of them that I could say that I like, Venton. And he has a song called Look Like, which all the females love that shit. When that shit come on in the club or when you just out, that ain't no female sitting down. They all dancing, they all vibing to that shit. Another one is People's Favorite featuring 42 Doug. And another one is Bus One Volume 2. Or Bus One, I'm sorry, Bus One 101 2. That's the name of the track. So those are a couple tracks from him. Another one is Steve the Stoner. You know what I mean? He's, Milwaukee's own. I can't say I love all his shit. And if y'all haven't noticed, I'm sure he done ran across your Instagram or whatever. He was on Casanat Pod doing his dance that he do. You know what I mean? Like I can't lie. I'm getting a little bit tired of him busting all up in all these doing his. He do shows
Viral as
anywhere.
hell right now.
Yeah, he did a show up in
Mhm.
Audie's one day. You know what I mean? He do a show in the DMV. He come in with his shit and just do a live performance right wherever he at. It can be Pick and Save, it could be anywhere. But shout out to him. And he got some tracks and he got a movement up here and he's starting to get some major attention. Like I said, he's been on Casanat. He was I want to say he was on the Breakfast Club. I seen a video of him teaching Just Hilarious, his little dance, uptown, downtown dance, you know what I mean? And shout out to him. I just actually seen him before I headed out of town at the tobacco shop. You know what I'm saying? But and he's still outside. He a normal guy. He real cool nigga, man, like for real. And I'm rooting for him. I hope he can take his shit to the next level. But a couple of his songs that I will give him to that I said that I like, that I've been listening to is Facts, Fire, Still a Felon, Authentic, and his On the Rooftop freestyle is pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? So he's another guy. I'm gonna give one more Milwaukee guy a shout out too. And this is basically my little nephew, man. I done watched him grow up. And he didn't work with me, he worked for me, you know what I'm saying, like last summer, this summer, and I seen the work that he been putting in. But his name is Big 30K. He young. I want to say he like 17 years old. But he and when you watch his video, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. He looked like a baby, but he rapping on some real shit. You know what I'm saying? Like and his shit is nice. It's not the most lyrical miracle, nothing. It's just a bop. You know what I'm saying? And when you watch his video, if y'all watch it, this is Milwaukee at its finest. Like this is the Milwaukee youth. You know what I'm saying? And like when you watch this video, how wild this shit is and what they doing in their video, it's definitely a representation of this city here. So a couple of his tracks that I can say that I like is No Sleep. He got a little clique of guys. You know, him and his brother, they team up. His brother make the beats and he do the rapping. But No Sleep is go hard from him. I can't help it. You know what I'm saying? I might be too old to really even be liking the song. You know what I'm saying? But I like it, man. I can't lie. You know what I mean? I can't lie. I like it. Another one is Run It Back that I can highlight from him for sure. And you know what? I would really suggest showing this to your kids as far as big 60K. He's really he's not really for us for real. I'm gonna keep it real. He's not for us, but your teenagers might be able to feel what he do a little bit more than you can. You know what I'm saying? So that's it for the Milwaukee guys. Another one that I gotta highlight is Coyote. Coyote is nice. He's from the West Coast. He got nice tracks. Like he can rap his ass off. He more on the lyrical side. I would say he's probably in his 30s or something now. You can tell he's a little bit more mature. But a couple of the tracks that I gotta say that I like from him is LA Slang or Slang, which is kind of like a play on Big L's Ebonics, and he's explaining LA Slang on the track. Runoff Fades featuring Absol, Go Hard. And he's got a couple more, but I just wanted to really highlight those two as if for something that you could check out and just see if you even the first impression. First impressions is everything, you know what I'm saying, when it comes down to it. Buddy. Buddy's another guy. I'm not sure exactly where Buddy's from. I know he's been out for a while, but
He's
he
from
got
LA.
this song. He got this song right now that's out, and it's called "Hopped Out," featuring Huey Breeze or Briss. I'm not quite sure how you say it, but
Buddy
ever since
fire.
I heard, I swear he fired. Leroy, you ain't bullshitting. Like he
Buddy
fired.
fire.
He fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is fired. That Hop Out song been on repeat for me. So Hopped Out. Check that song out from Buddy. Another one that he got that I really like is Take Care, where he rapping over the Stay Fly remix. It's like the same beat as 3-6 Mafia Stay Fly, but he going in on there. So he's another guy. He's lyrical. He's really nice. He can spit. Another guy that I want to highlight that's from the younger.
Hold on, but Buddy had a
Go
hit
ahead.
record a few years ago. Buddy had a hit record with Blast. Don't make me wait too long. Sliding your favorite
Yeah.
song. That was a hit every day, all day. That ran in California, like the
Hey,
whole
I
year.
guarantee you, it's impossible to not like Hopped Out. Like it's impossible to not like Hopped Out. I don't know how you can not like Hopped Out. So look that up, chat. Look that up. Anybody watching? Buddy Hopped Out.
Dope.
Go hard. And it's new music this year, like I said. So I don't know. I don't know what these guys got to do to promote themselves or to get on. But
we need to get them on the show. This is an invitation.
That's
invitation.
sure.
This is an invitation tonight. So you
For
can
sure.
interview with Super. You can interview with
That's
Leroy,
the thing.
Servan, Mike D, myself. We invite you. Hit us up at info@accordingtohiphop.com. Your managers, your PR people. We want to interview these young guys because the Vlad TVs, the Say Cheese, the Hot 97s, they're not interviewing these young guys, but we want to provide a
No.
platform and a space where you can talk about your music.
Well,
We ain't gonna tell no street. We ain't gonna get into no street gossip. Let's talk about the music, who you are as an artist, what your future's looking like, and we can help be a vehicle to put your stuff out, put your message out.
Yeah.
We'll be that. So hit us up. Hit us up.
Another young guy that I gotta highlight too that I've been kind of feeling a little bit. I'm starting like he reminds me of 2 Chainz, and I know we didn't all heard Lil Tyler, right? We all done heard a track or so from him because he been doing his thing. But I love that Florida Boy song that he got right now that's with Wiz. You know what I'm saying? And when I really listened to him, like I said, he started to remind me of a younger version of 2 Chainz. Like his lyrical ability is starting to get better. He's still young, so he got some potential to grow. And we'll see what becomes of him. But Florida Boy featuring Wiz is fire. He got another one, Been Working. Been Working is another one where, it's fire to me. Like it's a nice, I can get in the car and ride and play that shit. It's like, it go hard to me. So shout out to Lil Tyler, man. But on the more OG side of things, or guys that's been in the game and we didn't heard these names, I gotta highlight Lil Boosie, BG, and Juvenile on Ain't Too Many Left. Like right now, that's my favorite song right now. Juvie got possibly the verse of the year on that track.
And they got you mentioned they got a video to it, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
They got a video to it. Yes, it's fire. And Juvie verse on there is possibly it's a runner up for verse of the year. It's in the top 10 verses that I've definitely heard from this year alone. The track is nice. The beat is soulful. That shit damn near make you shed a tear when you hear that shit. Like I can't lie, it do what it's supposed to do for me. I love that song. So shout out to Boosie, BG, and Juvie on that. Another one I got to shout out is Richie Rich. Richie Rich album was fire. Like people ain't been thinking about Richie Rich. He been gone, but I swear Richie Rich album, Richard, go hard. Like I like a lot of tracks on there. I like Wires and Vogues. I like Prolific. I like Tie the Game in a Knot. Dollar in the Dream, Back in Aspen featuring Larry June and Currency. All them tracks is fire. So shout out to Richie Rich for still keep working and keeping this shit going.
Yeah,
Another
yeah.
one that I surprisingly like, and I I probably have shitted on them in the pod or, kind of been disrespectful to them, but I got to give it to the Black Eyed Peas too, man. That song Yesterday in the video is fire. It's a shout
Yeah,
out to the
peace.
old school. Yeah, it's a shout out to the old school. I love that video, and they mixing and they mixing up a lot of different beats, beat switches. Will I Am is going ham on there. I forgot the other guy name, but the song is good. It's got to be video of the year already. I don't think I've seen a better video or better layout performance of the video. It's just a single. I don't think they got an album coming or anything like that. But Yesterday from Black Eyed Peas, that shit is fire. It's on the corny side, but when you watch it, it still go hard. I can't even lie. You know what I mean? Like it's something that attracts me to that song. So I like it, man. I
But
watched the video.
Black
Go
Eyed
ahead.
Peas, the Black Eyed Peas, they was b-boys and breakers. They came in on some breakdance stuff, and they was authentic to that. And they was authentic to pop music. That's what they wanted to make. They made that. The only thing I'm saying how that segues is Ron just mentioned artists coming on. What you're gonna see next, or what I'm betting on, is working class MCs. We're talking about grown adults who have jobs that are also MCs. Now, people could laugh at that or say what you want. Most people are not going to be like the Black Eyed Peas. And what I mean is, when you walk into a label and you see all those people that work in there, all of them needs a paycheck. Guess who has to provide the money for that paycheck for them? You, the
Right.
artist. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So if your music cannot pay everybody in this building, you're not going to be priority. So what we're going to see now is a working class MC. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they can't afford. They just can't afford. They what we, Mello had a huge deal. Jello, right? That's going to be just the standard of deal pretty soon because they can't afford to go under that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They have to go that route, or else the whole label's going to fold. So
I got a few more I want to highlight too. And this is another guy. I said I can't lie, man. This is my guilty hip hop pleasure. And I don't know if it's just a Midwest thing or what, but I love G Herbo. Like G Herbo, I love G Herbo. I
He
like the way he
slides.
rap. I
Mhm.
love his style. I like what he do. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's not the most intellectual shit. It's thug shit. It's street shit. But it sounds good to me. So I like G Herbo. And I like his Wit Legit freestyle that he dropped at the beginning of the year. I like Still Dangerous. I like Go Crazy with the it's like with the Jeezy sample. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Go Crazy Jeezy sample in there,
Right,
and
right,
and
right.
the song Traffic go hard too. So G Herbo got some new music that's out here. Depending on what you like, you know what I'm saying. If you ain't never dug into G Herbo, go listen to some G Herbo, man. It ain't nothing but music, y'all. Everybody ain't gotta be Nas and Jay. Um, Another guy that I gotta highlight that he's kind of been out for a while too, but he's been under the radar is Aaron May. Aaron May has a song called "More Than a Dream" that came out this year. That I love that song too. That song is fire, "More Than a Dream." And he has another one, "No Respect," that's been on repeat for newer tracks for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I hear stuff, I put that shit on the playlist, and when it come on, I be like, damn, this shit sound good. Like that's how a lot of this type of music starts to grow on me, because when I first hear it and listen to it, if it's something that connect with me, I put it on the playlist, and when it comes back around and I hear it again, that's how I know if I really like it. You know what I'm saying? So Aaron May, "More Than a Dream," "No Respect." Another guy that I gotta highlight is Peasy out of Detroit. I've been liking Peasy, so it ain't really no major surprise that I like this music. But Peasy got a song called "Pop Your Shit," and he has another one called "From 6 to 7 a.m." That fire to me. You know what I'm saying? Another one surprisingly that I liked, and I was kind of done with BG when he got out. I really wasn't feeling his music, but he dropped a song with Birdman called "First Question," and I swear to God, I ain't lying.
I haven't
I
heard
think
that
this
one
is
yet.
beat. I think that's Birdman best verse I ever heard he spit. I can't even front. That's the best Birdman verse I ever spit. Maybe other than
Stunting on you, stunting like my daddy.
yeah,
That
yeah,
verse.
yeah, yeah. It's up there with one of the best Birdman verses I ever heard. So go listen to that song from BG and Birdman, "First Question."
Dope.
I mean, I'm pretty much that's about it. Oh yeah, I can't forget about this too. Zero. Zero dropped a nice album this year. Zero album is nice. It's fire to me. I
Yes,
like the
sir.
whole thing. His album is called Call Me Rother, which I believe is his last name. But one of the highlights of on that album that I like a lot is Kings. So listen to Zero and Kings if you get a chance to. And
Dope.
you know, another guilty pleasure of mine. This is the last one, y'all. I promise.
We gotta have a part 2 of this shit.
Yeah, hey, yeah, I can go deep, y'all. I can go deep with this for real. Pause. But I got to give it up to Money Man. Money Man, like I would look at him as he's a future clone or whatever, but he still got some music that I like and that sound
He
good.
just
So a
dropped a
couple
new
of
album.
yeah, and this
Yeah.
is from his new album. These songs are from his new album. I like Making Model. I like Cardio featuring Rio the Young OG. You know what I'm saying? So those are two of the ones that I can definitely highlight in Socials. Socials is another one that go hard from them. You know what I'm saying? So that's hey, I did this for you, Savon, because you was asking, what do y'all like? What do y'all like? And I know, like I said, we get on this podcast and we compare and contrast a lot of things, and it might sound negative, like we don't really like nothing, but I like all this shit. I can't lie. So it ain't really. It's not like that. I'm
Nah,
trying to be
that's
hard.
dope. You putting
Yeah,
people on new stuff because some of these people
yeah.
I've heard of, some of them I've seen them ring like Money Man, but a lot of those newer artists, I don't really know a lot of them. I know Lil Tyler stuff like that because he's been ringing down here in Florida. And Money Man, I've heard of him on the internet and stuff like that. I got some people who I've heard. I don't know if you guys consider them new. It might be new to you guys, but it goes across like from hip hop to whatever. My list is nowhere near as long as Super.
Hey, let me squeeze this last one in
Yeah.
because I gotta squeeze this last one in because I almost forgot it. And shout out to Chris Hogan. You know what I'm saying? His name is Jamil IMX. I can't really pronounce it right. So
I seen that
but
name too online. Yeah, I haven't
yes,
heard
yes. But
it though.
hey, he dropped the album in January. That's fire. Like, you know what I'm saying? So go listen to Jamil IMX, or you can shorten it JNX. His shit is fire. His album is called For My Kids. Some of the songs that I highlight from there are Third Law, Talk My Over. He got a song called Prodigy and Havoc. Mama They Shot Him. And my favorite song on that CD, it has to be Mind Playing Tricks on Me, which is like he rapping over the Mind Playing Tricks on Me beat, but they slowed it down and they sampled it and it's nice. But that's one of my favorite songs right now of the year. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Jamil IMX or JNX. I'm not sure how you say that middle part because it's got a hyphen and all that in there. So I'm not really familiar. He's been out for a little while, but I definitely got to highlight him. Chris Hogan put me on to him, and his music has stuck with me since he told me about him. So shout out to him for sure.
No doubt. Speaking of Chris Hogan, the super chat says, Jamil NIMX,
Right.
Ren Getz,
Yes.
King Akeem, Young Roddy, a couple dope NOLA Underground lyricists to check out. Salute y'all. We'll make sure we shout
Yeah,
them out, man.
I ain't see the chat, so I didn't even know that he put that in there. But
He just
yeah,
did.
straight
He
up.
just did.
Yeah, shout out to Chris Hogan for that reference, man. He definitely dope, man. He definitely is dope. He's on the lyrical side. He's got a message in his music. It's grown man shit when you listening to him, and he definitely got bars. He's spitting on there. So, and you know what? One more. I got
Come on, man.
I got a shot. I got to shout out Mickey Fax in the Dean's list. I got to shout out Mickey Fax in the Dean's list.
Okay, yeah.
That song For Sale that's another one of my favorite songs that then came out this year. I've been bumping that on a consistent basis. So that one and Maker's Mark, which is my drink anyway. You know, I'm a Maker's Mark guy. So I gotta shout them two songs out for sure. The album is nice up from top to bottom anyway, but those are two of the ones that I gotta highlight for sure.
Keep your fingers crossed because Mickey hit me the other day. Like, I may have a situation for a volume 2. If that happens, y'all definitely gonna hear me a lot on that project. If we got a situation, I don't know. It costs money to put these things out, so keep your fingers crossed. I did send you guys a link yesterday with Exhibit on in the class. I don't know if you hit the link, but he played music from his new album. So I mean, that was fire.
Yeah.
But we coming with it though. That volume 1, they have some dope styles on there that's gonna become prevalent in the future, hopefully. You know what I mean?
No doubt, no doubt. Well, Super Duper took the homework assignment. He took the challenge. He got extra credit. He got a plus plus, man. So we appreciate you, Super. We're gonna put together a playlist of some of these artists once we start distributing our newsletter again over the weekend. So look out for the newsletter. Look out for the playlist. But shout out to Super for that. But let's segue into the topic of the night. We're gonna go
Joints.
back and say it again.
I said add some people, but we can get to it later.
No. We got some
My
time.
list is not long.
Run them down.
It's just
I wanted
artists.
to hear it too. I want to hear yours, Savon.
Go ahead, Servon. My bad.
Artists. So one of these artists you guys are already familiar with. He already dropped the album. He's been buzzing. That's Big X the Plug. I'm always gonna big up Big X the Plug. When his album dropped, I was behind it. Big X the Plug. Go check him out. He's still dropping visuals to that. Go check out Big X the Plug. He's from Dallas. He's killing. Another artist, I don't really listen to her music, but I see the energy that's around her. She's from St. Louis. Her name is Big Boss Vet. Young female artist. She's killing out here. Just like with the internet right now, she got kind of like a buzz ringing on the internet right now. Big Boss Vet. That's VETTE. Ken the Man. That's another female artist. I see the ladies really fooling with. I'm not really for her stuff, but these are names I'm hearing ringing. Two people who I do personally listen to, and this is on the R&B side, and it's Naomi Sharon. And Naomi Sharon, she signed the OVO, but she's a dope artist. Sounds like Sade.
Oh, I like her too. She got a nice look to it. She got a nice look about herself too.
Yeah. And she was dope. I remember you sharing her in the chat. Yeah, for sure.
Naomi Sharon. And then Tanneril, she's a dope artist in that same lane, that R&B kind of that Sade type feel. She's dope, and it's pronounced Tanneril. I know it's spelled where you don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Tanneril. And she's dope. New York Drill. I know I mentioned I hate New York Drill, but I like this guy's energy. I like what he's doing because I'm seeing the young people like really dance to his music, and he's kind of buzzing out here. And it's Zeddy Will. He's one of the New York Drill artists. Zeddy Will is man, I'm not gonna lie, Zeddy Will, he has that energy that I like coming from that New York Drill thing. I see how the kids react to him. I see how teenagers react to him. He's dope. You already said Money Man, he dropped a new project. And there was one more. There's one more who's out here doing it. And it lost my mind with your list, Super. I ain't gonna lie, and I didn't even put it down. So when it come back to me in the show, I'll let you guys know. I don't want to take up the time.
I got one more too, y'all. I do got one more that I got one more I gotta highlight. You know what I mean? And it's his name is Psy. It's SCI. Psy and Change is the name. They the name of their little clique or group is Blue Money Mafia. I stumbled on that. I don't even know how I found that shit. I swear I don't. But I stumbled on it. But I listened to their album. I like the whole album. Like from front to back. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Artist, it just came to my mind why it's here. And I don't know how long he's been out, but I know he got like the South on fire right now with these line dances. But it's 803 Fresh. I think he's from Carolina. He got the Boots on the Ground song. You can see the one with the fans or whatever is going crazy in the South with the line dance and stuff. It's like a whole rodeo going on. But 803 Fresh, I think he's like a soul type singer, but he's in that step, that line dancing type lane, bubbling right now. I just want to let you guys know. But yeah, that's what I got for you guys, man. And shout out to that list. I appreciate you going out there and checking out the new stuff out there and knowing the songs and the artists to be able to give to the people. So that's dope. I dig it.
For sure. I do this, man. Hip hop is what I do, man. Like I said, I'm an old head, but I still dig into that young shit too. So I'm not too picky, y'all. It might come across on this podcast, but I'm not really too picky on just liking shit.
Well, I gotta do some studying.
I'm gonna be picky.
I got some studying to do, but let's get to the topic of the night. Let's take them back down memory lane.
Let me
hold on.
Let me. But
damn, how many interruptions I want to get? Okay, go ahead, Leroy. I wanted to change the thumbnail for this shit. Go ahead, Leroy. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Get to that. Get to that. My man, old Baldy, is in the comments. He's talking about a song I sent him back in the day. I do got a little something of me rapping over a Pete Rock beat in New York. If y'all want to hear it, you let me know. You know what I mean? But they talking about my bars. Be careful, man. But it's up to you. Yeah, go ahead though, Ron.
No. You got any artists you wanna highlight? Any youngsters before I cook up
I
this
mean,
2010?
nah, Super said it, man. That whole volume 1, the Dean's List, I'd check out that. And if you hopefully supported a volume 2, it'll be right behind it. Which I need that in my life. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make we have to hustle and make money. Like, it's real. It's realer than real. So, you know what I mean? Load up.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're gonna go to the year 2010. If you guys knew where you are, please stop texting me. I'm so sorry. Okay.
That's
I'm
what I'm
sorry.
going through right now.
Let me turn my phone off real quick. I'll keep getting interrupted during the show. But 2010 was a pivotal year in hip hop, right? It was a bridge year, right? It was a year where we saw, I mean, it's the start of a new decade. It is the birth of a new superstar in Drake, two new superstars, right? So you got Nicki Minaj.
You.
We got a
Yeah.
few. We got a few. You got
Yeah.
Currency, Pilot Talk
Yeah,
debuts.
yeah.
You got
Ton of
Pilot
people.
Talk. You got Currency is bubbling. You got, but you got the big dogs. You got Nicki. You got the Young Money. I think Wayne is in prison in 2010. He's got 2 albums that came out. The Rebirth came out that year, and also I'm Not Human. What's that?
Yeah.
The other one.
Yeah.
So he had 2 joints, right? And he was the only trivia. He was the only rapper, the second rapper other than Pac to have a #1 album while incarcerated. So that I don't know how big of a feat or how proud of a feat that is, but that's a feat. But it's the rise of Drake. I mean, it's Young Money, Cash Money, Nicki Minaj, and then you had one of the greatest albums of all time came out in 2010, and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. But we're gonna go through month by month.
I got
Starting
my
off in
list.
January.
No, did you cut out?
You had the Best of DMX, and then you had the Kanye West VH1 Storytellers album DVD that came out. So not a lot of stuff came out in January of that year. It was kind of a light month that year. February 2010, we've got Lil Wayne Rebirth. We got Styles P and DJ Greenland and the Ghost Project. Static Selector drops. We got Freeway and Jake 1. And then we got DJ K Slay. More Than a DJ album drops. March, you got the debut of Earl Sweatshirt. Got your man Brother Lynch Hung, Dinner in a Movie. You got Victory. Now, Victory, this DJ Khaled, I think this is his debut album, right? It might not be his debut.
No,
it's not his debut. But no,
this
Victory,
one had All I Do Is Win on it, I think.
Yeah. I meant to say that's a song you still hear to this day. So All I Do Is Win is still bumping. You got the Wu-Tang, got Ghost Ray and Meth with the Wu Massacre. Wasn't really feeling that project. Really disappointed. I think it has some songs on it, but I think it had Criminology 2.5 and it had another one. But other than that, it wasn't.
I wasn't rocking with that.
Wasn't really rocking with Benny Siegel and Freeway had the Rock Boys. And then Servan mentioned earlier the Bird tape too. The Bird print.
I can't even lie. I didn't like this whole year. This whole year was garbage. I swear, I'm not even fronting.
Man, Inspect the Deck dropped too. So I don't know. It's kind of starting shaky. Master Killer drops a live album. This album, Ludacris Battle of the Sexes, was Ludacris' 7th album. I think it had How Low Can You Go? It had what's the other record it had on there? How Low? It was supposed to be with him and Shauna, but Shauna left DTP.
It had My Chick Bad on it.
Yeah, My Chick Bad. My Chick Bad. How Low Can You Go was on this joint.
That album, no.
And then E40 did a double joint. Well, it was not really a double joint. He released an album one day. He released the other album the second day. He had the day shift and the night shift from E40. That was in March. April. April, you got Murs and Ninth Wonder. You've got
That was
uh
fire.
who you got? You got B.O.B.
Shaboom
B.O.B. drops. You got Cypress Hill Rise Up. You got Devin the Dude. You got Corrupt Streetlights. Got Cushion OJ. You got Too Short, Still Blowing. You got Bone Thugs and Harmony. In May, you got somebody said this is the album of the year. I don't know. It could be top 5. It could be top 10. Got Distant Relatives, Damian Marley and Nas. You got Trina Amazing. You got the Ghost Dub Dime Styles P. You got Street Hop by Royce the 5'9", and you got KRS-One Back to the Lab, 10 Toes, 8 Ball, and MJG. Super, you still ain't feeling none of these joints yet?
I mean, you know, I love Distant Relatives, but I mean, I like everything. I like everything. I just can't say that this was not
Street Hop was all
fire.
right.
Yeah, it wasn't a good mainstream year. But I got a dope solid 10 for y'all.
Okay. So let's go to June.
It was cool. You know,
June, the highest selling record of 2010, not surprisingly, was Recovery with the lead single, Not Afraid. What else was on that joint? It was Not Afraid. They Love the Way You Lie was on here. Was that on there?
That was a big record.
Yeah, he has some big records. Eminem, #1 selling album. He has See Murder, Tomorrow. You had Nappy Roots. Came out. You had Plies, and Savon in our group chat said that Plies is an underrated catalog. I'll let him expound on that in a minute. But Goon Affiliated came out. Yuck Mouth Free at Last. The first solo album from Little John, apart from the East Side Boys. Crunk Rock came out. And then you had Vinnie Paz come out. And then you had the Monster. You had the Monster Drake. Drake is Born. And well, he came out a little bit earlier than that, but his debut album, Thank Me Later, drops 2010 in June.
Thank
And
Me
15
Later
years
was dope.
later, 15 years later, the boy is still doing his thing. Hate him or love him. So he's been had a hell of a run.
Bunch of dope albums there.
You muted, Ron.
That Big Boy album was dope.
The Dark Side from Fat Joe, that was crazy.
Damn, how long I've been muted? What's the last thing you heard me say?
Just a few seconds.
Okay. So you got Teflon Don. BMF was on that joint. Rick Ross.
That was fire. That whole album is fire.
Yeah, one of his best. You got Paul Wall, Champion. You got Tech Nine. You got Sir Lucius Left Foot, the son of Chico Dusty, Big Boy. Capone Noriega, The War Report 2. Wasn't better than the first one. Then you got Stat Quo.
No.
A lot of people sleep on Stat Quo. I thought Stat Quo was pretty dope. And you got the first Pilot Talk by Currency.
Fire.
Pilot Talk classic, man.
All right, let's go to August.
Teflon Don is better than My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I'm sorry.
Come on, man.
I don't know.
Come on, Leroy. Let's come on. Come on, man.
Run it down.
I agree.
Competition
Leroy,
too.
I agree with you.
Come on, my
Leroy.
G.
Run the songs
Come
down
on, man.
there.
We can go. Let's go track for track. Come on, man.
Rick Ross rapping. Let's go to the bars.
That's a dope Ross album, though. Don't get me wrong.
It's a dope Ross album.
Let's
but
go
come on,
Mason
man.
was
Ain't
on
nobody.
there. Yeah,
When we have these
it was
conversations,
dope.
let's keep it a stack. Let's keep it a stack, man. We have these conversations. I ain't hear nobody say when we talk about the greatest albums of all time that Teflon Don is in that conversation. But you do hear
thinking the greatest album of all time is that?
Yeah, you speak. So Ron, I give you your props. You speak on Ross's run, but when we have these conversations about the best albums of an era, I've never heard anybody bring up Teflon Don. That's the first I've heard.
About 2010.
I know.
You never heard that? That's crazy.
When we talk about My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy,
times.
But you don't have to even talk about a year. When we talk about albums, people bring up My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy a lot. Let's just keep it a stack, man.
But I always say that Ross has an underrated discography. I've always said that to you guys.
Hey, when Mike asked the question of guys with 3 album runs, and I put a list in the chat for that, and I listed Rick Ross's that I think Rick Ross had a great 3 album run. So
more than 3.
More than 3. He got like a 5-piece.
Oh yeah,
whoever's out here saying Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, like the album, greatest album, they going crazy. That's ridiculous. Because I think Drake got him too. I think "Thank Me Later" got more better songs
Okay,
on it.
we're gonna have to
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to
let's
go on my
go.
bag on I'm gonna have to go on my bag on y'all in
Let's
a
go
minute.
song for
But
song.
that's fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine. That's fine. Freddie Gibbs debut Straight Killer, August
That was fire.
2010.
It was straight, not fire. It was straight.
We got Del the Funky Homo Sapien drops in 2010. Bun B Trilogy. We got There Is No Competition 2
Ray
with Loso.
Ray was
That was
9
fire.
Raekwon, Only Built for Cuban Links 2. One of my favorite J Dilla beats, 10 Bricks.
That was 2009
And that
though, bro.
mixtape was fire.
That was 2000. I thought it was 2010.
Yeah. That was the re-release of the in 2010, but it came out in 2009.
Okay, might have been a re-release. My bad. Editor's note.
Mhm.
Kids, the late great Mac Miller, Juvenile,
Yep.
Beast Mode, 2010. Let's go to September, guys. September. We got Black Milk, the 365 album. Lil Wayne, I'm Not a Human Being. Ice Cube, I Am the West. Young Buck. I forgot the name of this album. Young Buck, and then Chingy, Success and Failure.
Ron, you was bumping that Chingy?
Why you gotta call me thinking I wasn't bumping it? That sound like that's
Mhm.
you gotta
I missed that one. I missed that one.
you got
Shit, I
okay,
missed that one on purpose.
you got jokes on that one. I can't tell you not one song on that joint.
But 365 album of the year, that has some joints on it too, though. Black Milk.
You got Sky Zoo and this producer cat dropped an
Illmind.
album. Yeah, Illmind. You got Cannabis, Sea of Tranquility. You got Armando by Pitbull, and then you got Waka Flocka Flame's debut album, Wakavelli.
Waka was on fire at that time.
And you got Pimp C dropped another solo that year too.
Mm-hmm.
Hunger for More 2 is a sleeper. That was a dope album.
Pilot
You
Talk
muted again.
2.
Pilot
Muted
Talk
again,
2.
Ron.
Bentley Benz a Beamer.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. You got Pilot Talk 2 came out. You got Yellow Wolf drop. You got Kid Cudi. Hunger for More 2 was dope. It had that song Started Up. I think it was Swiss, Fab. Fab killed that joint. It was Fab, Kanye, Swiss, and then and Lloyd Banks. You got Big L, The Return of the Devil's Son. You got Flow Rider, Story Time. My ex-girlfriend wrote for Flow Rider, and she's on that track. What's that? The club can't handle me. You hear her background vocals on it. Yeah, she spent. Yeah, it was dope. It was. I think he did a good job. Flow Rider was a.
Shout out to Flow Rider, man. He has a career.
Yeah,
Even though
he
I
got a
don't really
career.
listen to that music, he has an amazing career and the amazing things he do with the community, man. Big shout out to Flow.
Yeah, shout out to Flow.
Yeah, he went and did them festivals, man, and hopped into other genres of music.
He's a great businessman.
You know, man.
No doubt. Pilot, Yellow Wolf. Yellow Wolf is still doing this thing. I think New American is his label. Put on Jelly Roll. Put on some other cats out in Nashville right now. Yeah, I did. I did leave off FNL. My bad. I did. I left off FNL. That's a good call out, Esquire. My bad. But you got two monsters. Got My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. You got Pink Friday, Nicki Minaj.
Yes, sir.
Hey, which one y'all got? Which one y'all think was better, Pilot Talk 1 or 2?
1.
I got
one.
I got 2. I like
2 was
But 2
dope.
is fire though.
Top heavy for me.
We talking about beats, the best beats of that year, and we're gonna talk that later. Ski Beats was going crazy. Ski Beats was going crazy, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, he was.
No doubt. The Reggie album, Redman. You got DJ Premier, Get Used to Us. Got Ghostface Killer, Apollo Kids, and Too Short dropped another joint in December of 2010. And that's where we at. That was 2010.
Yeah.
We should have put the mixtapes up there because this is the year of the mixtape, really.
Yeah, I didn't put the mixtapes. I missed a lot of mixtapes. That's my apologies.
It was a lot of good mixtapes.
But
that's why I
the
did my
mixtapes.
I combined albums and mixtapes on my top 10 list.
So
I
Savon,
can't blame you for
Some of
this
those
year.
mixtape albums, though, that some of those mixtapes were technically albums,
so
so we
Savon,
didn't
hit us
include
with your
them, but
list real
they're
quick.
kind.
All
Hit
right,
us
let
with
me
your list
bring it
real
up.
quick.
Yeah, I put it on my phone. Yeah, 2010 definitely was a mixtape year, and it was the turn up era. You know, the all the way turned
Yeah,
up, the Travis Porter, all that stuff. That's why I say in college that was the time for me being outside. That was the time. But mainstream album wise, it wasn't where it was. So my list, I got Kanye, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is number one. Number two, I
Good
got Rick
choice.
Ross, Teflon Don. Number three, I got J. Cole, Friday Night Lights. Number four, I got Wiz, Cushion Orange Juice. Five, I got Wale, More About Nothing. Number six, I got Currency, Pilot Talk. Number seven, I got Fabulous, There's No Competition 2. Number eight, I got Lloyd Banks, Hunger for More 2. Number nine, I got T.I., Fuck a Mixtape. That was crazy. That was a mixtape he put out. And
Remember
number
that?
10, I got Crit. Crit was here. But I do have an honorable mention. That was a mainstream album that you guys probably ain't gonna hear nobody say. It was a good album. Before y'all say anything, Diddy had Last Train to Paris in 2010, and that was a good album. I'm
It
not
was
gonna
a good
say
I
that.
heard
album.
that album.
It was a good
That was a
album.
good album. That was a good album. And Kendrick put out Overly Dedicated in 2010. So those were some honorable mentions
I
along with
mean,
that.
to go back a few years before that, Diddy had Press Play on the same year Graduation came out. Listen to Press Play, bro. And that shit is crazy. But yeah,
I
you know
like
what I
when we
mean?
do this because it show how diverse our ears is. Because my list is gonna be a little bit different than everybody else.
Yeah. And then
It's
I
all
think
good.
another honorable mention, mixtape wise, um, Nipsey had the marathon out that year. I like Crenshaw more, but the marathon came out in 2010, and that was pretty decent as well.
That was big.
Crazy. I like that
Started the
list.
smart store stuff when
I
he's
like that list, Savon. I think that list was comprehensive. My bad. I left off the mixtapes. I was rushing for the show, but that's my bad. But that's a good list, man. Super.
appreciate
What
it.
was your list? And Leroy.
I all right. Like I said, my list is gonna be totally different. So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start at the back end. My number 10 album. I'm gonna go with. I gotta go with Wiz Khalifa and Cushion Orange Juice. That's number 10 for me. I love that track. I love the album though. Don't get me wrong, but you know some of the songs that really stuck with me is Mesmerized, The
That's my
Statement,
shit.
Supply. The Kid Named Frankie stayed on repeat back in, what I'm saying, back in those days. Never Been, Visions,
Never
Glass
Never
House
been.
with
been.
yeah, you know what I mean? Currency, Glass House with Currency and Big Crit was another one of them ones that just stayed on repeat for me at the time. So that's my number 10 album. Number 9, I gotta go with I'm gonna go with Kanye West and My Dark Twisted whatever
We got
fantasy,
the same
however you say
list.
it. I only, you know what, and I only put it on the list because it has to really go on the list. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't really even like it. Like I like a couple songs on there, but I'm not a fan. Like I'm not a real fan of Solar Paul, and I'm not a fan of a lot of them tracks that's on there. But some of
I
the
don't
ones
know.
that
Man.
I
I
do,
love that album.
the ones that I
Not
do
after
like,
hearing late registration.
I definitely like Power. I definitely like All of the Lights. I definitely like Devil in the Blue Dress. And maybe a few more on there that I can say that I do like, but I
You
can't
ain't like
act like
Blame
that's
Game?
not like that.
No.
Like not production wise. It's not one that I'm. It's just not something that I was really enjoying like that. So I don't.
Oh,
I think it's
Paul was
overrated.
dope, man.
I
And
don't
then
like
le-
Soul Paul.
and
Yeah,
then
I
that's
leading
don't
up to
like
that
it.
tough.
album, he was putting out the what was like he was dropping like singles like every few
The
weeks or
Good
something like
Friday.
that. It was
It was the Good Friday series. He
Those
had
the
th-
Chain
Good
Heavy.
Friday
those
was
were better.
yeah, man. The lead up to the shit was just amazing, man. It was a well orchestrated
The Good
album to me,
Friday
man.
series.
Yeah.
The
My
Good
number 8
Friday
one got
series
it.
should have been his album.
Number 8 for me is gonna be Pilot Talk 2. I could possibly say that I'll probably do like Cushion Orange Juice more than I like Pilot Talk 2. I think it's got more bangers on there. But Pilot Talk 2 is another one that I still reach back to. I still go listen to Cushion Orange Juice still to this day too. But Pilot Talk 2 is another one. I like Airborne Aquariums, Michael Knight. Um, what's the other one? I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it's I like the album, period. So it's hard to pick
That shit
exactly which
fire.
songs. Yeah, the whole shit was fire. You know what I mean? And it's the start of the Currency and Wiz Khalifa wave, and you know what I'm saying? Like they built their careers off of those two albums, to keep it real. So that's my number. What I say, 8. Number 7 for me is gonna be Rock Marcy with Marsburg.
Hmm.
This is a little bit of revisionist history when it come down to this, because I just really got into Rock Marcy, but when we was doing our homework for this show and for this topic, and I was listening to the other albums that was in the mix, when I went, because now that I am a Rock Marcy fan, I appreciate the work that he put in. So some of the tracks off of that is It a Crime, whatever, We Do It featuring Kai, Panic, Jungle Fever, Marsburg itself, the title track. And my favorite song on there is Hide My Tears. You know what I'm saying? The sample and the production on there is fire. You know what I'm saying? And I like the shoutro that's on there, the last song, which is the outro, but he called it the shoutro. So that's another one of my favorite tracks. And like I said, going back into it, it was one of the best albums of the year for sure. I've been listening to a lot of those tracks still in 2025. So I had to put that in there because it still sounds good to me right now. My next one, it's got to be J. Cole and Friday Night Lights. This is the only mixtape that really made my list. But J. Cole Friday Night Lights was fire. You know what I'm saying? I like the album. The album itself is fire. Some of the best songs that's on there for me is Back to the Topic, In the Morning featuring Drake, Cost Me a Lot, You Got It featuring Wale. Those are some of the standout tracks that I liked a lot that was on there. You know what I'm saying? And just listening to it today, I'm like, damn, this shit is fire. Like I kind of slept on it a little bit at the time. I listened to it. Don't get me wrong. I listened to it.
Yeah.
But that shit was fire, man. I got to give it to him on that. Coming up next for me is Devin the Dude. I Gotta Be Me. Now, I was bumping this shit then, and a lot of these songs stood with me. I love Devin the Dude. Devin the Dude is one of my favorite artists. I like his creativity. I like his production, rapping. He make beats. Devin the Dude is like one of the best dudes that's slept on that's out here. We barely mention Devin the Dude. Like people never really talk about him, but Devin the Dude got some shit,
Fuck
man.
with
Like
Devin the Dude.
I don't think that he ever dropped a whack CD, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like I love Devin the Dude. So some of the tracks that really stood out from Devin the Dude, Gotta Be Me is Come and Go, I Like What I Do, You So Real. My favorite track is Just Coolin' on there. And another one of my favorites is Fuck You or Fucker, however you say it. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, y'all, but that's the name of the track. But that's another one of my favorite tracks on there. Coming up next, I'm going with Distant Relatives. Distant Relatives is not gonna make my top. It's not my favorite CD of the year. I love Nas, but honestly, when I listen to Distant Relatives, I'm not even listening to Distant Relatives for Nas. I like Damian. I think Damian Marley was cooking Nas on that shit. Like I get
like
it that the album, the whole album is fire. So it's not a skip on there unless I could probably skip My Generation. I could probably skip that. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, the whole album is fire. But some of my favorites on there has to be As We Enter, Tribes at War, Leaders, my Friends. Friends is one of my favorite songs on there. Friends, Patience, Count Your Blessings. My kids grew up on this. You know what I'm saying? In His Own Words is another one. But I really, like I said, when I listen to Distant Relatives, I'm listening for Damian Marley. I'm not even really listening for Nas. I can't even lie. I think Damian Marley stole the show on Nas
Damian was
with
cooking, and the hooks, and
Yeah, I
Damian was
like Damian
cooking the
Marley on
hook.
hip hop
yeah.
beats.
He was
Yeah.
cooking. He was cooking on that. I swear he
Promised
was.
Land, or come on,
Yes,
bro.
Promised Land, the whole thing,
Africa,
you know what I'm saying?
wake
But
up.
especially his verse on Patience. His verse on Patience is probably one of the best verses of all time, to be honest with you. So that was one of my favorite, but I can't put it at the top of my list. I said, I'm gonna surprise y'all, man. My next
That's
one,
good.
number
Yeah.
two. Number two for me, it's gotta be Waka Flocka Flame. I don't know what I ain't even playing. That shit had nothing but hits on there. And it was enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? So I loved I'm Busting at 'Em. I love Hard in the Paint. I love No Hands. I love Grove Street Party. I love Oh Let's Do It. I love Snakes in the Grass. You know what I'm
The
saying? Like
club,
that shit
man.
was I can't
No
hate,
hands
man.
in
It's
the
not
club.
we can't hate on
Yeah.
Waka Flocka, man. That shit was everywhere.
He
It
was
was
on
bumping
fire.
and it still sound good right now to this day. So I got to give it up to Waka Flocka. He had my number 2 best album of the year for real on that. Like I was playing that in real time.
Yeah.
My number 1 album of 2021 or 2010. My number 1 album is Big Crit Was Here. Crit Was Here.
You know, that was in my top 10. So.
I think that is from top to bottom collectively. I think it's fire from top to bottom. And from out of these songs, the reason why I had to put it at number 1 is because I like the songs more than I like the whole album more than I like the other albums from top to bottom. So another couple of the ones I gotta highlight is Return to Forever, Just Touchdown, See Me on Top, Glass House featuring Wiz and Currency. Children of the World is one of my favorite songs that came out. That shit was fire. You know what I'm saying? They Got Us, Good Enough, No Wheaties. No Wheaties went hard too. Moon and Stars, Never Go Back. I mean, like that I think that he had the best album of 2010. So shout out to Big Crit, man. I gotta give him his props. We barely
You want to know how I
give him
got
his
on that
props.
album? How I was put on that album is funny. I was put on it because he had a joint called Country Shit, and I think it was like on a Madden soundtrack or
Yeah,
something,
Yeah, it was like
or a
Madden
2K
with
soundtrack or something. And then I went to go check for him. So that's how I was introduced to Big Crit, was like from one of the video games then. And I was like, yo, I like this cat. Yeah. So I'm with you on that.
I remember that album.
yeah. So that's my top 10, man. That's my top 10.
No doubt, no doubt. I'm gonna be brief with mine real quick. I'm gonna show some love to some folks that didn't get y'all didn't show love on y'all list. Y'all might have mentioned them briefly, but you didn't really touch on them. Shout out to Big Boy, Sir Lucius Left Foot, the son of Chico Dusty. You got Shutterbug. Yeah, Mr. DJ did some tracks. Andre produced a track on there. You got it was a real funky album, right? And it really set Big Boy apart, as a solo MC and kind of carved out his lane. You know what I mean? So a lot of people don't give Big Boy his props as a solo artist. But that album, if you go back and listen to Shutterbug, listen to that joint with George Clinton, it's another one. It's a good album. It's a really good album. I think a lot of people don't really talk about that.
It is.
This ain't no particular order. Hunger
I
for
really
More.
I wasn't a big fan of the production. My fault, Ron. I wasn't a big fan of the production, like it's on that album, but it's still fire though.
It's a good album. I mean, it's
Yeah.
different. I mean, it's an acquired taste. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that you gonna just bump and just ride to, like it's gonna be banging out your speakers, but it's something to
Big Boy
vibe to.
spit with some
It's
weird
vibe.
type beats sometimes.
Yeah, it's a vibe. It's a vibe. It was a vibing before the vibers, but it was like a country, funk vibe. You know what I mean? And it had it's eclectic.
It's just weird. Without Andre, it's just weird. And now if we hear Big Boy, we're kind of used to Big Boy if he's by himself. At this time, we're not really used to Big Boy by himself like that. Like our mind is still programmed to hear that Andre verse. You know what I mean? In my opinion, you know.
No doubt. The Hunger for More too. Servan brought this up. Lloyd Banks is sliding on that record. I mean, from a lyrical perspective, he's like real smooth with it, right? And then my favorite joint on the album I mentioned earlier was the Started Up joint with Kanye. Because whatchamacallit snapped on that joint. Fabulous went crazy on that verse. Just really crazy. I forget. He had the last verse or the first verse. He started off.
I don't know. I know Swiss Beats was on that joint.
Remember the first song was fire.
Fab's verse was crazy. Fab's verse was crazy.
That album was dope.
Speaking of Fab, there's no competition too. Again, you talking about sliding on tracks. A lot of people from the Soul Tape.
He spit over the Walker joint on there.
Right. You know what I'm talking about sliding on tracks. Go back and listen to Fab for the Soul Tape. I went back and listened to Freddie versus Jason last week. And that album, the first one, it's crazy. They got a song. Me and Leroy were talking. What's that song, Leroy, I was telling you about? What's the name of that song?
Soul Food?
Soul Food. Both are killing it. Jada and Fab are killing it.
Yep.
To Super's point, Distant Relatives, again, I think Damian Marley's the star of the song. It's another vibe. But it's a dope record. They had good chemistry. You know what I mean? I thought it was a cool project. I don't know if it's album of the year, but I thought Damian Marley was the star of the show. Pilot Talk 1, I think that's self-explanatory. That sets off that series. I think 2 has 2. Me and Rave talked about this before. 2 was dope, but I gotta lean more toward 1. Apologies to Esquire. I left off Friday Night Lights. You hear J. Cole rapping over Devil in a New Dress. He kind of snapped on that. He kind of rapped better. I don't know if he rapped better than Ross on that joint, but but Cole killed that beat. That should have been Cole's beat. I mean, if I was Kanye, I would have been like, you got that. So I don't know who did it first. I think it might have been, when did that come out? When did Friday Night, what month did that come out?
They should have just
I wanna
gave it
say,
to
like,
They should have just gave that. They should have gave
I
that.
think it came on later in the year.
No, because I think because
I think that was a fall release or something.
Kanye's came out in November.
I think Friday Night Lights was like a fall release.
It might have came out before. If that's the case, that should have been Cole's song, man, because Cole killed that shit. And it's gonna be unpopular. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna put Thank Me Later on the list, man. You know why I'm gonna put and I'm gonna stand on it. I'm not saying
Thank Me Later was fire.
I ain't
There's
saying
nothing
it
wrong
from
with that album.
I ain't saying it from. It's got some joint on it. It's got the joint with Nicki on it. It got the joint with T.I., the fancy joint that Swiss did. They got Miss Me. Wayne killed Miss Me joint.
Had
They got
Light
the
It Up on
song.
there.
They got not the bonus version. Got 9 a.m. in Dallas on it. They got the song with Trey Songz
Unforgettable.
on it. You know what I'm saying? It's a dope album. You know what I'm saying? Over.
Yeah, it's a decent album.
It's a dope album, and it created a superstar. I mean, you got this.
He delivered.
He delivered. It's his debut. I mean, I know folks was laughing at the joint. Man, this dude corny. Gonna give it up. She made me beg for it. You know, so cats was laughing at Drake. But Drake came through, and he wasn't a one-hit wonder. And they made sure that he delivered. And that was kind of like the rise of CMB. You know what I'm saying? Young Money, Cash Money. So I got to give it to Thank Me Later. It's on my list. And then, Teflon Don, I got to give it up. It's a formidable album of the year pick. I had to take a step back and re-examine. MC Hammer on that joint.
Yeah, you might want to re-examine
Had
that.
BMF on it.
You know what?
That was a fire album.
It's a fire album.
I
I
don't-
don't have to go back and reassess my thought, but
I don't know
still
if I
got
forgot to
number
mention
1.
that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if I forgot to mention that, but that definitely made my list. That should have been.
BMF.
If I didn't say it, it should have been. It's on my list. I got
Maybach
it written
Music
down.
3.
I forgot to mention that.
But
That's what he dissed Vlad on
With
that
Erica
album.
Badu,
After Vlad
the hook.
sued him.
yo, so I gotta go back tonight. I'm gonna go back tonight and examine. I'm gonna examine this album and make sure my next statement is
Didn't
true.
want to examine.
But I still got number 1, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and I'm gonna tell you why, man. The intro.
On the album.
I mean, RZA with Dark Fantasy just sets the shit off, man. Come on, let's be for real. And Servan's point that the run up to that, when you had Chain Heavy, you had Chain Heavy, you had the Good Friday song, you had Christmas in Harlem, the one with Jim Jones and Cameron on it. You had
That's Good Friday.
My Mama's Boyfriend. I know it's Good Friday, but the lead up to it was one of the best rollouts of all time. You had
and that kind of hurt it, because now we're expecting to hear the best.
But the album didn't fall off because you start
but
off
it delivered on the album though. The album was amazing.
I mean, you start off with Dark Fantasy with him and Nicki. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
It was so well orchestrated, man.
That was dope. That was dope. I mean, it's not a whack album. It's not, but I'm gonna make comparison argument. The arguments I hate making, but since I always hear comparison, I'm gonna compare that album to other albums in 2010.
But let me. I'm about to land my plane. You got Gorgeous with Kid Cudi and Raekwon. Let's be for real, okay? Then you got Power.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Power
That's
is
crazy.
You got All the Lights.
Now
the
that's
interlude.
crazy.
You got the interlude, just the beginning of it. You know what I'm saying? Just the beginning of it.
Yes.
Then it goes to All of the Lights. Then you got Monster. Now I wasn't a big
Monster on
Monster.
there.
I wasn't a big Monster fan, so I ain't.
Oh
you know,
man, Monster was crazy.
Monster was
When he
crazy,
dropped
but
that on Friday, when he dropped that on
Nicki is the
Good
savior
Fridays,
of that.
that was crazy.
I know. Shout
Nicki
out.
saved that.
She did. Then you got Soul
Jay's
Paul.
verse was hard on there.
You got Soul Paul. Come on,
People
dog.
hate that verse.
And then you got and this is all in order. I ain't jumping around. Then you got Devil in a New
Runaway.
Dress.
Yeah, you wait till you get to the back half of that album.
Then you get Devil in a New
going.
Dress. Come on. Then you got Runaway. We had the video of the year.
Mhm.
Pusha T's verse is crazy on that joint. You got
That's
Hell
a
of a
song that I'm
Life.
never listening to, though. I'm never listening to Runaway.
You don't like Runaway, dog?
No.
What's wrong with it?
The
last
it's not my
album on the song.
Bing, 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 bing.
It's like a
come
movie.
on,
It's a movie. It's a
Telling you,
movie.
man,
song.
it was orchestrated so well.
It's the promotion that makes it seem like it's so. And then the first half we do kind of get that. The second half,
Hey, super. You be on the
Nah.
road, man. I challenge you to do this. If you ever on the West Coast, if you ever in Seattle and it's raining outside, you just want to vibe in your truck,
nah.
put on Runaway, watch that rain. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
It's gonna take you to a whole other space, B. I'm telling you.
but you know, y'all. I mean,
The last
I
song,
keep
man,
it,
Who Will Survive in America? That was crazy.
Crazy
I keep
record.
it real.
The
I keep it
title's
real when it
crazy,
comes to
the
Kanye.
song.
I'll keep it real when it comes to Kanye. But that album was not one of my favorites of Kanye. It got some tracks on it, but it's not. I don't think it's like people will act like it's his best album or number 2 or 3. I don't really look at it like that. I think it's
It's
a
just
decent
very
album.
loud.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Nah,
It's
that was
decent.
a great album.
Great album. Then you got Hell of a Life.
Let me
Blame
get. It's the same thing. It's the same thing to what BP3 is. I'm gonna go to Blueprint 3. If you're comparing it to rocking a stadium, well then it's that album. But if you're comparing it to I'm just driving around or I'm playing it at my house or I'm just playing it for me, I don't know if it's that. It needs a stadium to exist. Just like Blueprint 3, if you ain't playing that at a stadium in front of 50,000 people, it sounds out of place. And that to me is same thing with Watch the Throne. You need a stadium for that to make sense.
I get what you're
Beautiful
saying
Dark
when you
Twisted
say that,
Fantasy, you
Leroy.
need an arena. You need
I
an
get what you're
arena.
saying, Leroy, but people listening in their cars, man. Like the stadium thing is you know, you gotta be
driving
there.
around to all the
You gotta
lights.
be here in the show. Yeah, but how many times you gonna be able to get to the stadium to enjoy the music? Then
Dog,
you know what I mean?
I drove around the
beautiful
runaway.
Dark
I
Twisted
drove
Fantasy.
around the runaway. I drove around the
All
runaway.
the
You having some problems? You know what I'm saying? You
marching
listen.
band in the trunk.
My
You're
Beautiful
gonna
Dark
now you
Twisted
can play
Fantasy
it
is
in
better
car,
than Blueprint 3, bro. It is.
but
Oh yeah.
it's the same album. It's the same
No, it's
album.
not. Now, I don't
It's the
sleep on
same
Blueprint
album.
3 because there's tracks on there, but it's not better than Blueprint. I mean, it's not better than
Sonically,
my
it's
Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, bro.
the same album.
Nah, cause Leroy, when we broke
It's
down
meant for arenas.
when you
That's what the album's for.
Leroy, when me, you, and Mike broke down Blueprint 3, Venus versus
Where's the
Mars,
soul
ain't
in it?
nothing on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasies like Venus versus Mars. That's a terrible song. Venus versus Mars
You're
is
cherry
terrible.
picking one song.
Hate
No, I mean, he
go
had
through the
good
whole
albums on
album
there.
with
He
that?
had the joint with Jeezy. He had What We
Reminder is
Talk About.
Reminder is
Thank
terrible.
You. He had Empire
DOA.
State of Mind.
Already Home is my favorite song off that album.
Hate
So
is
Ambitious.
But
terrible.
sonically, it's very
So
loud.
Ambitious is one of my favorite songs on there. But there's some misses on that album, bro.
Reminder is
But
terrible.
the music is
Reminder
loud,
is a bad
what
song.
I'm saying. The music,
I didn't
both
like Off
albums
That
are
either.
loud.
Off that is not a good song.
I didn't like that record either. Yeah.
We're not talking
Yeah.
about whether people like them. We're talking about the sonics. It's the same sonics.
I didn't like Hate with Kanye. That record, Hate. I ain't like that record either.
But we're not talking about whether people liked it.
My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is a better album, bro.
But we're not talking about whether people like it. We're talking about sonics.
It
It's the
matters.
same.
Yeah, I mean,
like it,
sonically, to Leroy's point, sonically,
we're not talking about whether you like. We can
it's
do
a
that all
different,
day.
it's a bigger sound than Graduation. I will say that. You know what I'm saying? It's a bigger sound than 808s and Heartbreaks. I will say that. It's Kanye to the max, man. It's like
it's Kanye to the max.
It's a very cinematic. It's like a movie. It's like a movie on wax. That's what My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
But does that make it better than everything else because it's so loud?
It does. And you know why? Because 15 years later, when we talk about the best albums of all time, people bring up this album, and they do, and it just is what it is.
I don't know why. I don't get it. But people bring up
after listening to College Dropout and Late Registration, I'm gonna look at this as better than those.
I'm just telling you what the people be saying. The people we bring up this album, they say, "Hey,
let me beat that up. Let me beat that album up with my list." Right, and I just because I just don't like the guy no more. Okay, now let me now number 10, number 10, right? And by itself, right? If we're judging stadium music, yes, that is one of the best stadium albums. If the object is to rock a stadium, yes. But are these the best written out songs, even though Saha is writing them? Are they the best songs? We're gonna get into that. I
Bro,
think Thank Me
yes,
Later.
they're more
So
overall better
so 10.
orchestrated songs
So
on that album.
but okay, I think this is if it stands alone by itself, it's great. If I have to compare that to his first two, or compare that just to an album based on music that's not catering towards a tour, I may have a different opinion. So number 10 for me, I did have Wiz Khalifa, but since Stupa had that, you know what I mean, I'll keep that in the back of my mind. Okay, I'll go there. Um, Cushion Orange Juice, boom, that's fire out the gate. Um, 9, I had Kanye West, the My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, but okay, I want y'all to go listen to Movies on Demand by Consequence. I want y'all to listen to the same Sonics with the same producers, with the same studios, with the same and the same approach lyrically, because it's a ghostwriter effect to Kanye's music. Now you're listening to one sound that doesn't have a huge budget attached to the engineering versus a huge budget attached to the engineering, but it's the same type of Sonics. If I'm lying, then go listen to Movies on Demand, come back. I'm talking about movies on demand. It may have been 3, but no, it's one of them. Go they all of them 1, 2, and 3 is it's the same group. He's good music. He's a writer for Kanye. He's a song arranger for Kanye. He's a hook and bridge writer for Kanye. It's the same exact guy. Okay, so
And
go
and
listen
that's
to
and that and the
the
album still ain't better than the album still ain't better than My
It's
Beautiful
the
Dark.
same guy.
It ain't the same
And
thing.
listen to the approach.
He can't crack nothing solo.
Kanye, yeah, because you need millions of dollars to crack. I just want to need everybody to know that. I know you don't
It's
think
okay
that
to
you
not
need
be like
money to
that
crack,
as an artist, but
but
be
you
dope
do.
as a
But
songwriter.
you
You
do.
know that, right?
And listen to the Sonics and listen to the delivery too. Kanye delivers bars in a certain way. Now I want you to go listen to Movies on Demand from Consequence and listen to his delivery, and you judge for yourself. Um, 8, I'm gonna go with Sky Zoo, and Illmind, live from the tape deck. Bars on that's crazy. 7, I'm gonna go with Joe Button, Mood Music 4. Joe Button is an underrated MC for me as far as, and I used to not be into him, but that emotional rap. If you want to talk about being a psychological and emotional, Joe is the master of that, in my opinion. Like that
I like
emotional
mood music
side,
series.
he's gonna, huh?
I said I like mood music
Joe,
series. I wouldn't put it in my top, but like it's I like the
that was an
series.
album. Yeah, part 4 was an album. It came out as a mixtape and an album. 6, I'm gonna go with Fat Joe, The Dark Side. Fat Joe had joints on there. Where's the joints? It
I
has
agree,
Slow
Leroy.
Down, I Am Cracked. I Am Cracked. That was like I Gave You Power, which was crazy. Rappers in Danger, Kilo, Valley of Death, and I'm Gone. That Fat Joe delivered with that. Dark Side. 5, I'm gonna go to Roots, How I Got Over. I spoke about that earlier this year. 4, I'm gonna go with Currency, Pilot Talk. Pilot Talk. Now, again, Kanye West, we're looking. It was just a year of promotion. So when the album finally drops, we're expecting to hear the greatest thing we ever heard because of all the money pumped into the promotion before we heard track 1. Now, Currency had a similar rollout, just without all the money and fame. But when we were gearing up for Pilot Talk, we expected him to deliver. He delivered. And I could say it may not be the same, that comparable, but if I look at what Ski Beats did with his soul samples and what Kanye West did, I don't think Ski Beats is too far away. You know what I mean? Um, where am I at? 3? 3. Okay, Distant Relatives. Distant Relatives to me is a very important album because of the messaging. There's a riff going on between, FBA, people from outside. Once you get on some human stuff, that's what Distant Relative is. You know what I mean? And Damian Marley did kill that. 2, Teflon Don, of course, you know what I mean? I think Deeper Than Rap is my favorite Rick Ross album, Deeper Than Rap, but Teflon Don is crazy. And he had a run. Mastermind's crazy.
Mastermind was amazing.
There's another one too. Oh, God Forgives, I Don't was crazy. The
Yes, I don't
mixtapes
was
he
fire.
released that year, Album Anastasia and Ashes to Ashes dope. But number
Ashes to
one,
Ashes was
I'm gonna
fire.
go with Ashes to Ashes Fire. Number one, I'm gonna go with Drake. Why? Because I think Thank Me Later was a dope album. On that one album, where are my dang notes at? Thank Me Later. You got Fireworks. That started off the album great. Over, dope single. Show Me a Good Time. That was fire. That was Show Me a Good Time is fire. Up All Night, fire. Fancy, Successful, Uptown, Shut It Down, Unforgettable, Light Up, Miss Me with Lil Wayne. That was fire. Like Thank Me Later. And again, this is Kanye on one hand and Drake on one hand, and we are comparing the two in 2010. These are like two trains that are colliding, and we are comparing them. Like in a lot of the blog spaces, we're looking at Drake and we're looking at Kanye. Both delivered. But if I have to say who's musically better than the other at this time, I think Drake got um Kanye because Drake's having a harder road and he delivered more. He's having to deliver R&B and rap, and he has to top both genres. He can't top just one. So he's topping both. And now
See,
a song I just named for you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I left off Best I Never Had because it was already out. But that's 12 songs. Now I'm sorry. You got Power on there, which is fire. You got Dark Fantasy fire. You got Devil in a New Dress fire. So Appalled fire. That's 4 records. You got other ones, right? Gorgeous, that's cool. All the Lights, I'll leave that up to you. Monster, Runaway. But after that, that's kind of falls off. Now I just named 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 songs. 4 of those is really the fire. I named you 12 songs from Thank Me Later. And I didn't even mention the outro where he's rapping like he's insane. But Drake
Hey,
delivered.
I can't even lie, man. I mean, I've said this multiple times on the show or even in the chat. I've never listened to Drake on purpose, so I can't even say if it's classic or if it's not because I never been into Drake at all ever. Like I've only
Thank
heard
Me Later.
Drake by accident. I've only heard Drake by accident. I've never cut on Drake. It's always been a coincidence that I've ever even heard him because I just never liked him from the beginning. I thought,
oh,
But did you
this
see the hoopla around Drake's name in
dog,
2010? Did you
Drake
see
I
that?
had
did it.
I
Thank Me
went
Later
into
was a good album. Thank
Let's
Me Later
Vaughn,
was a
cook
I
good
up.
went
album.
into Best Buy. Hold on, I went into Best Buy, and this is just half the album is out. Not even the full album. Only 7 songs. The EP is out. There is a line going all the way damn near to the door for a freaking EP, a physical copy in the digital era. That to me is insanity. Okay, but go ahead. You know
Savon,
what I
cook up,
mean?
bro.
Man, I don't agree with you at all, bro. I don't agree.
Yeah, no,
You're
I
saying that
respect
they were comparing Drake to Kanye at that time. That's not
in
true, bro. This
2010.
is
Yeah,
no, they weren't. They weren't.
No,
Kanye was
that
larger
wasn't
than
even.
life, bro.
Yeah,
their
that
names,
wasn't even the
Kanye's
topic.
their names
larger than life.
are
He's an
hype.
icon at that point, bro. That
Yeah.
album by Drake was
Yeah.
decent. It was cool.
What was
This
the
was, and
energy around
remind you,
Drake's
this
name?
is an album. This is the album is before Take Care, when really everybody was starting to come around and love Drake around Take Care. Thank Me Later,
Around
to
So Far
me,
Gone.
Oh shit.
Around
Thank Me
So Far
Later,
Gone is when they started loving Drake.
that's when they start to like him. But when the world really started to take in the Drake, it was Take Care, bro. But there was people that liked Drake. Drake was likable, but he wasn't near the same stage as Kanye at that time. He wasn't.
The
This is
hype
the
though.
beginning.
The
This is the
hype in
beginning.
2010 for Drake's name. You're saying his name wasn't
No, there was
super
hype.
hyped
There
up.
was hype. But you also have to look at the factors,
Super
bro.
hype.
You have
They
to look at
cut
the
off
factors, bro.
TV
And see,
commercials
when you make
for his
statements
album.
like that, you make it to where when somebody gives a rebuttal, it kind of minimizes the buzz that Drake had. because you're comparing him to a person that was already an icon at that time. He already
That's
had.
fine. I'm just talking about by himself.
Bro, he already had a 4-piece for you already. Damn, no, a 5-piece
I
for you
hear that.
already at
I'm
that
not
point.
saying Drake is an
He was
icon
not
in
fucking with Kanye.
2010. I'm not saying he's an icon.
I
I'm saying
never heard
when
the
his
comparing him
comparison
to
album is
an
about
between
to
icon.
Drake.
drop,
Yeah,
You
I'm not
compared him
saying
to
Drake is
somebody
an
else
icon.
already an icon in
I'm saying
2010.
when he's about to drop an album and they cut off TV shows to inform the public, like special announcement, Dre's album is on the way. That is ridiculous.
I mean, that's all good, but it's all good. But if I go back in, if I go back in a time capsule,
I'm not calling him an icon.
nobody was saying "Thank Me Later" was on the level of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy in 2010.
Never.
Nobody said that.
But I'm not calling Drake an icon with one album. That's not what
You
I'm talking
compared
about.
him to an icon. You literally compared him to Kanye. Those were
Because
your
in
words.
2010, when you go on the computer and you see whose name is super hot, it's two guys.
Yes,
Being
hot and being.
and
Come on,
Drake.
bro. You're granted.
Yeah,
you
but
can
no,
go into Best
there was
Buy.
that.
You can
That
see
wasn't.
Thank Me Later. You can go to Best Buy and see Thank Me Later. I remember that. I remember the buzz around Drake, but he was never not. He was never.
He was
in
not
that
an
realm
icon. No.
and that Kanye was on at that time. He wasn't, bro.
On the
He
internet.
wasn't.
I don't
He was
remember.
cool.
I don't
People
remember.
liked
I don't
him.
remember.
Let's not forget what Drake was at that time, bro. I think
Yeah, they were having him in the
timeline
same
mixed up.
sentence.
People like Drake. He was bubbling, but he was not nowhere near. He was not in Kanye's playing field at that time.
Bro,
there wasn't many rappers.
I never heard of Drake. I never heard of Drake and Kanye West comparison ever in my life at that time. Like
Kanye did the beat.
I agree with you.
Didn't Kanye do the beat for Best I Ever Had?
No,
Isn't that a Kanye beat?
He directed the video.
I don't know that.
Oh, he directed the video. But I'm tripping.
I'm telling you, is at that time, that wasn't words that nobody was saying. Nobody was comparing Drake to Kanye at that time, bro.
I kept hearing the name Drake. I kept hearing the name Drake. I don't know what you was hearing in 2010.
Yes, I was hearing the name Drake. I was hearing the name Drake around that time. Yes.
Now, was he a hip hop icon? No, because this is his first album. But as far as is his name ringing bells? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, we can't deny that.
Yeah, we can't deny that. He had buzz.
Yeah, so that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
You're comparing a buzz to somebody who already had a 5-piece for you. Or 4-piece for you.
Drake's name is ringing bells. I'm not even talking about who sold more records, who has more albums out. I'm talking about whose name is always popping up in 2010. And it's these two guys. Yeah, man.
Well,
I don't know what Leroy talking about. I never heard of Drake and Kanye West comparison back then. Especially back then. You know what I mean? There was no. I never heard anybody like, yeah, this guy is just as good, or he like. I never heard any.
I've never seen a buzz like Drake. The only parallel I've seen to Drake is 50 Cent. Other than him, I've never seen a person so hot.
Bro, in 2010?
I've never seen one name pop up so many times, and unless it was 50 Cent in 2003. In 2009, when Drake's name pops up, I've never seen this level of hot.
Hey, real quick. The highest charting singles in 2010 was "Love the Way You Lie." Eminem was number 1. Not Afraid was tied for number 1 with Not Afraid, Love the Way You Lie. Just a Dream by Nelly was 3. Down on Me, Jeremiah featuring 50 Cent was 4.
Who is hotter than Drake?
Hold on, let me finish the list. Let me finish the list real quick. Right above it.
Waka Flocka was hotter than Drake at that time.
Right. I was gonna say that. I was just about to say
I didn't see that. Now I saw Waka Flocka, but it being hotter than Drake in 2010, I didn't see that.
Gucci was bubbling in 2010 in the South. I mean, Gucci. I mean, for Drake was popping, but Gucci was bubbling down here.
They treated Drake like he was a pop star. Like,
I mean, they did treat. They did.
It was love
they
for
did.
Drake.
They definitely.
I've never seen
Drake like he was next up.
Like him compared to other people, dog. Like
no,
he was good at the time.
I've never seen that level of hot. There's only one guy, 50 Cent, who I've seen get hotter than that. That's the one rapper I've ever seen, and MC Hammer. But what are we talking about? Other than
Bro,
them
Wiz
two
got
people,
Black and Yellow that year.
I've never seen one guy's name.
What Drake record was bigger than Black and Yellow that year?
That the first singles he had off "Thank Me Later." He had "Successful" with Trey songs.
That
He
was
had
not
"Best
bigger
I
than
Ever
Black
Had,"
and Yellow.
and he had that other song where he's singing and he's in Jamaica on the video. But if you think again though, what I
You're talking about
remember is
Find Your
Drake's
Love.
name
Find Your Love was
being hot.
charted.
If
It was
you
a
think
top
there
20
was a
record,
hot,
yes.
I've never seen a rapper hotter than Drake. Ever, except for 50 Cent. If
Hey.
you
Yeah,
think
but
Wiz
not
Khalifa was hot,
Leroy, but not
if
at
Wiz
that
Khalifa
time,
had
Leroy.
one
Not at
record,
that time.
Hey, with all that being
Drake had the
said,
whole album was doing this. The whole album was
with
getting
all that
get
being
this hot.
said, Eminem had the #1 album of 2010. His first
Okay,
week
Ron, do you
sales.
know why Eminem is so hot in America?
Recovery sold 741,000 units the first
Do
week
you
in
know why
2010.
Eminem is the hottest in America? Do
I
you know?
don't. Interscope.
Okay, well, the mass consumer of this music is people that look like Eminem. Just so you know.
Okay.
He will always reign supreme if we're talking about sales.
See, man, you take a lot away from people bigging up stuff like that when you start making those comparisons and saying things like that, because it makes us
Okay, so
minimize that album for as good
who's
as it
hotter than
was. And that's what I be talking about.
who's hotter than
It was a
Eminem
Hey,
decent
Drake?
album. It was good. He
Leroy,
had the
he'll
flow.
hype something up so bad that you will start to hate on it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not
Okay,
even
so
necessary
Drake
because
wasn't hot in 2010. I'm
he
tripping.
wasn't. I mean, he
You didn't
wasn't. He
say he
was.
wasn't hot, bro.
I'm tripping.
But you're comparing it to people that was in waters that he couldn't swim in at that
I'm
time,
not
bro.
saying he was. I'm not saying he was an icon on his 5th album. That's not what I'm saying.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I think Drake.
On the internet in 2009 and 10. You're meaning to tell me there was people hotter than Drake in 2009 and 10? You're meaning to tell me Wiz Khalifa and Wiz Khalifa, that song was easy.
Yes.
But how did he do that back to back to back to back to back with multiple songs?
Man, we gotta listen, man. We gotta stop this shit right now. Like I said, Drake was
okay,
nice.
so this is the first time
But
I
come
heard
on, man.
Wiz
We
was
got,
hotter than
man.
Drake.
You gotta
in
stop that shit right
2010.
now, Leroy.
I've never
like
heard
I said,
that.
Drake was nice. Drake was looked up as a next up and coming artist, but he was never like he wasn't like on flames like you trying to say in 2010, bro. He wasn't. He just wasn't.
Drake
It was a lot
wasn't
of
on
rappers.
flames in
Man, listen,
2010.
I'm gonna tell you who was hotter than him in 2010. Definitely Waka Flocka.
Who was hotter than him in hip hop history?
Definitely. We ain't talking about history, bro. We sticking right
You
with
can't
what
start
we
moving
said.
the
You changing the
goalposts, bro.
topic, bro. Yeah, you changing the topic.
You
You
got
changing the
Eminem.
subject right
Shit,
now.
Nicki was hotter than Drake in 2010.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
Pink Friday, yes, she was.
Hey, B.O.B. was hotter than Drake.
Nicki Minaj was hotter than Drake.
Hell yes, she was.
Yeah. B.O.B. was.
I didn't see that.
B.O.B. was hotter than Drake then.
B.O.B. was hotter than Drake. Okay.
At that time,
I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
I don't know where you was at, bro. I said Waka Flocka,
B.O.B. So
Ross was hotter than Drake
Ross
at the
was
time.
definitely bigger than Drake at that time.
Bro, like I said, man, this dude had people buying physical copies, lining up still in a store to buy his music.
Bro, I was
not seeing that,
dog. I just think you have
seeing that with
idea
B.O.B.
how big he was at that year, bro.
He wasn't seeing that.
He was like
this dude.
People
They were playing his videos on regular cable. They're playing his video songs on regular cable stations. Like the first few stations that you see, do you know that never happens? The only person that ever happened to was Michael Jackson. Like that never happened. The only person got that was Michael Jackson. So if that's not hot, but it's not about just being hot. It's about when the iron was hot, did his album live up to the hype? And yes, he did live up to that hype that was around his name. Yes, he did deliver.
Yeah, that's a different. That's a different argument. If the question is, did Drake live up to the hype?
His road is harder to do.
Of Thank Me Later, he absolutely did, and I think Drake. A lot of folks don't live up to the hype. I know Joe Budden had some hype, but he didn't really capitalize on that. I mean, with Slaughterhouse Later, he kind of resurfaced, but Yeah, Drake lived up to he exceeded expectations. I mean, they put a lot into Drake. You know what I'm saying? Young Money, Cash Money. But again, with Wayne dropping two
You act like you
albums,
weren't outside. Like
Wayne dropping two albums. I think 6'7", a single drop when Wayne got out of jail. So that came out in 2010 as a single. I remember being on the West Side Highway in New York, Funk Flex dropping bombs on that joint. So 6'7" came out in 2010. So it was Cash Money's year. Did that compilation come out? That was the next year. That was
Nah, I
2011.
don't know
Yeah, I
about
was gonna
that
say,
year.
was that the year of the Young Money CD too?
That might have
Was
been
that
the
the Young
next
Money
year.
year?
yeah, the
That might have
the
been
the song that fueled that was I just wanna every girl in the world. I just wanna who's fueling that?
Yeah,
That's
that
Wayne
was a
was
Drake
fire.
fueling.
fueling.
That was a
That was
fire,
Wayne,
right?
man. Yeah, that was Wayne too. I mean, Wayne was a big
I'm
part.
just saying, man.
Wayne was way bigger than Drake in 2010.
See, yeah, when you make arguments like that, man, it really takes away from what we appreciate about that
It
art,
don't
bro.
take away nothing because it
Yes,
don't
it
take
does.
away nothing because
You
either
have to
he's
make
hot or he's
arguments
not.
against it because it's
Either he
not
was hot or
true.
he's not. Either he's hot or he's not. If I'm
Did he
lying,
have a
I
did
don't
he
know.
have a record big, did he have a
Every
record
year,
bigger than
every
BMF?
day,
2010, did he
every
have a
day.
record bigger than BMF?
Yes,
No,
yes, he
no,
did.
No,
Yes.
he did
no,
What
not, bro.
Drake
he
is
didn't.
playing in the suburbs, bro. They're listening to Drake in the suburbs. This is something totally different.
they was listening to
This
BMF in the
is something
suburbs.
totally
They
different.
was listening to
He
Waka
didn't have a
Flocka in the
record bigger than No
suburbs too.
Hands at that time.
They're bumping Drake in the suburbs, my G. This is something
Now,
totally different.
no, yeah, he had the pop rhythmic charts in top 40 with Find Your
Yeah.
Love.
Yeah, and the
But
R&B charts on lock. This is a rapper who has the
but
R&B
this
charts
is
on lock.
but you got to remember the records that came out in 2010, bro, and I think you're overhyping how big Drake was at that time. He did
I'm
great
not if,
for
if
that
you
album.
everyone here
He did
saw the
great
same
for that
thing I
album.
saw.
I remember that when that came out. And it was a decent album, but the records they floated, they did that. I remember, like I told you, I remember going into Best Buy and seeing the physical copies of that. But there was monster records that came out in 2010, bro.
That's
There are
fine.
monster records.
Hey, let me get
And
to
All these people were hotter than Drake.
hey, let
I
me
didn't see
get to the
that.
super chats real
yes,
quick. Mad Max with the super
I didn't
chat
see
says on to the next one is better than every song. Come on, Mad Max, you tripping, man. Now, Mad Max, you say some crazy shit sometimes, bro. But I love you, man. Um, Mad Max with super chat says "Thank Me Later" was whack. It had 4 songs max. I
All
don't know
right.
about that.
I'm saying
it's a
the
decent
rest of these
album.
rappers, they play in rap circles. When you have somebody come out and he's dominating the rap space, the pop space, and the R&B space at the same time, that's different. We don't be seeing that. We don't see
I
that.
don't even. I get what you're
We
saying,
do
Leroy, but
not see that.
I don't respect that. I don't care about what the suburbs is
Uh,
playing, and I
yeah,
don't
but
care
we don't have
about
to
that.
respect it.
This hip
We don't
hop,
have
like
to respect it.
I don't care what
It
they
just
like and
is
listening
what it
to.
is.
I don't care
We
though.
don't
I'm
have to
just saying. I
respect
get
it.
what you're saying, but I'm just saying. Like I wasn't hearing no
I've
Drake.
never seen
I never was hearing the
I've
Drake
never seen
Kanye
that.
argument. I never was. I mean, Drake was hot, like I said. So don't get me wrong. You was hearing Drake, but he wasn't like one of the biggest artists in 2010. We strictly talking 2010. Like you can't take away what
Yeah.
his legacy is. But in 2010, no, Drake wasn't. He wasn't the Drake as we know it. You trying to make it seem like he just started off as Drake
He
when
did
when
good
he didn't.
numbers
He
for
did.
that album. Yeah, he
Yeah,
did
Yeah,
he
good
did
numbers
good
because
for that
numbers,
album, bro, especially
2009
for
is
stopping
really
and he
when
at
had
it
a
got
57.
hot.
buzz.
But with hip hop, man, I'm telling you, he wasn't the
But
biggest
that
artist
buzz,
in hip
I've
hop at that
never seen
time,
a
bro.
rapper with buzz except for 50
Kanye
Cent.
owned
That's
that
one
year.
rapper.
Kanye
That's
owned
one
that year
rapper.
in hip hop.
Well, Kanye's gonna do what Kanye does, but I'm saying I've never seen any rapper except for 50 Cent that get that buzz before. Ever. In my
No, he
whole
didn't
I
have
can.
50
life
Cent
I mean,
buzz.
I
No, he didn't
I
have
can
50
agree
Cent
with.
buzz in 2010.
I said
No, no,
other
no,
than
no.
50
It's not.
Cent.
Hold on, Savon Leroy. I kind of agree with you when you're saying that because the hype around Drake was big. It was big hype around Drake at the time. So I do
Okay.
agree with you.
Okay then.
But he was everywhere. He was dropping freestyles.
Not
People
on
wanted to
50's
Like
entertain.
level of
every
He
hype.
was,
year.
No, it wasn't.
but it wasn't 50 like at all. I agree with
No,
you when you're saying that.
a 50 is
But
the exception.
at that
50
time,
is the
Drake
only
name was
person
buzzing.
I've seen hotter.
He was
You know what?
buzzing. I can't you
You know
can't
why
take
I
that
don't
away
like
from
the
him.
argument, Leroy? You know why I don't like it? Because you guys You would hype up this album for it being away, and you would down Eminem for the same damn thing. That's why I don't like this.
Okay. Eminem is also very popular too.
What
I got no problem
was those
saying
first? What was the first? Those first big selling songs of that year? What was the big songs of that year?
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. In 1999, the buzz around Eminem's name was very.
I'm not talking about buzz, bro. I'm not
So
talking
if we're
about
talking,
buzz.
what I'm talking about with
That's
Drake,
not what I'm
Drake
talking
has
about.
the advantage of the internet. So the internet is moving Drake's name. When you're on the internet in 2010, you can literally click 24 hours a day and see this person's name. That's something very different. That's something very different.
Your initial statement was that he was compared to Kanye. That is false in 2010.
Yes,
true. Now
Drake's name.
You are bigging up that Drake album for the same thing that you guys down Eminem for that album.
Yes,
Recovery
Eminem is considered a big artist.
Album.
Yes.
Those two records, what do you consider those two records hip hop singles? Love the Way You Lie and other joints. And I'm Not Afraid. Do you consider those hip hop records to you?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Now
Eminem is very popular. Yes. So if you're putting Eminem up there,
are you saying that to try to match up to your argument?
Listen. Servan, when you have albums like
other
Currency,
argument, you would have said No Afraid and Love the Way You Lie is a hip hop record. You would have never said that any other time.
So what is Eminem then? Is he country?
No, any other time you would not have said Love the Way You Lie and I'm Not Afraid are hip hop records. But you're saying this now for sake of argument to try to defend your Drake point. The biggest records.
You tell me what I can call them, and I'll accept. Okay, I'll go with whatever you say. We don't even have to go off what I say. You want to call it pop? Okay, Drake is also pop. So we can go and we can play the pop game.
You said Drake had the Suburbs on Smash, right? Isn't that a point that you said? You said that, right?
Yeah. Why are we talking about?
You know what Eminem? You know where Eminem reigns supreme too? In the Suburbs.
Right. And who had the bigger album that year?
Well, Eminem has the bigger album every year.
Who had the bigger singles that year?
Eminem has the biggest everything every year of every year period. There is
was
nothing
that the same
bigger
demo?
Than Eminem.
Wasn't that album possibly the same demo to your point?
Okay, so we spending
too much time arguing about something that's not even necessary because Drake, like I said,
B.O.B. was hotter than these people.
Let me super chat. Free with the super chat says Flockavelli sold 37,000 first week.
Act like y'all weren't outside in 2010. What are
Raw
we talking
sold
about?
179,000 first week. Drake sold 449. Kanye 490. And Drake album leaked. And Eminem sold 700,000.
Again, everybody. Did we all have internet access? Did we all have internet access in 2010? Yes, right? So when you went on the internet and you went on the blogs, when Drake's name popped up, what did you see around the energy around that name in 2010? Did you see people like, oh, I'm not really. Did you say people like, oh, nobody's
good album? You're making comparisons to people that had bigger years. You compared them to Kanye.
But you're. I'm not saying that was your initial point. I am not saying that Drake I am not saying Drake is the greatest artist of all time in 2010.
You said his buzz at that time was comparable to 50 Cent's buzz.
No,
nobody had a buzz that big as 50 Cent's greater.
I'm saying 50 Cent's, but I'm saying I have never in my whole life of listening to hip hop, I have only seen one person with a hotter buzz than Drake. Now, if we want to throw Eminem in there, I'll say two then. But Eminem comes in on the physical. He comes in on the tail end of physical copies. That buzz is very different from the internet. Drake comes in during the internet wave. Do you know how vast the internet buzz is? Like, I don't know. Goes on and on and on.
I want to ask a question. I want to ask a question real quick. Did Nicki Minaj? I think the answer is yes. We all said it's a Nicki Minaj.
That's the same clip.
That's
the same.
No. I'm listen to my question because I have a different question. I'm taking the conversation slightly in a different path. Did Nicki Minaj? I guess she did. Did Nicki Minaj birth? Well, because some would say Little Kim, the modern day
It's the
ratchet
same
rapper,
click, bro.
the modern day ratchet female rapper. Was Nicki Minaj the birth of that? I would say
I won't say
No,
ratchet. I think she gave a rejuvenation to female rappers. She has a lot of people of this era and the era beforehand. It's like those young female rappers that they were inspired by Nicki. If
I
anybody said it wasn't inspired by Nicki, they'll be lying. You know what I'm saying? I
I
think
don't
all
see
those
how
female
Nicki is
rappers.
ratchet. I don't
no,
see how
I
Nicki
was,
is ratchet.
I'm not, I'm not.
I was just gonna say that too. I don't think that I don't
She
think that
could
she
really
started the
rap.
ratchet. She didn't start the
And,
ratchetness, but she did inspire a generation to go get BBLs though. So I mean, she
okay,
is like
but
the
she makes
beginning
pop
of that.
music too.
You know.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. She wasn't ratchet because Your Love. She had like a lot of pop records. I
That's
mean,
pop music.
and
Yeah,
Your
her
Love
biggest records are pop records.
was a pop. She was a
Yeah,
pop. She's a pop star. But I'm just saying the
low key.
BBLs.
You have a record,
The
But
period.
she
It's
can
pop.
rap.
Yeah, she could rap because her mixtapes
Yeah.
before she had the BBL, she could spit. I remember her rapping off of
Yeah.
Biggie's
Yeah.
Warning. Nicki can rhyme. Like a lot of people don't.
I remember seeing Nicki on like Smack DVDs or one of
Yeah,
those
I
ones.
remember
Like
the tapes
if it
with
wasn't
Cindy
Smack,
and
if it
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, I remember when she was really
Talking
Nicki
like
about
yeah.
Nicki did exactly what she was supposed to do. You supposed to come in authentic. So she came in authentic. Like, look, I'm here to bar up. That's how she came in the door. So she did that. As soon as she got a leg in, she started to pivot. Benny the Butcher, shout out to you. She came in authentic, but then she pivoted when she saw opening for the pop world. And she went that route. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to solidify your family's wealth for the next 100 years. That's what you're supposed to do.
I mean,
So when you,
I
you know
won't
what I
say
mean?
that Nicki was. I can say before. I don't think that she was just. I don't think she was ratchet, and she wasn't just rapping about her body parts. But when she went and got that BBL, I mean, I don't remember black people doing that type of shit at that time. And then once Nicki went and got that BBL, like that shit became a normal thing now for black people to go get plastic
She
surgery.
and shout out to Nicki. She redid her BBL because when she first got her BBL, I'm not a BBLologist or nothing, but her legs was real skinny like, and her BBL looked
yeah.
crazy. And like sometimes it would deflate, like the left cheek would deflate higher than the right. But I think she
What are we
re-upped on the
talking about,
BBL.
man?
I gotta knock Ron shout out. I'm taking back that shout out to Nicki for that shit, man. We taking that back. We ain't shouting her out for ruining a whole
all I
generation of
care about is
females to
just
get
bars
BBLs and
and the
shit. I'm
music.
not giving her no props and no shout out for that at all.
she had the walk so all the others could fly. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? She had the
Yeah,
I
listen.
don't see them holding the bar like Nicki though. When it comes time to rap, she'll get on tracks with a bunch of dudes and she'll spaz on the dudes and she'll have the best verse. And she'll rap with
Hey,
whoever. I don't see these other females doing that. Sorry.
hey, Nicki is responsible for every bad BBL you ever seen in your life. She is
Cardi came out swag too.
she
But
is responsible for that shit. She inspired all these women. I done seen some horrible BBLs. Like I done seen some horrible ones, and it's Nicki Minaj's fault. So we on to the next subject.
but
But yeah, I can't give
but
her props for ruining these
as far
females'
as
body.
far as YMCMB, that's the same clique. If somebody wants to claim Wayne or Nicki or that, they're all the same crew at this time. Tyga, you know what I mean? But good times. I'm not mad if somebody wants to say Kanye West had the best year because he's Kanye West. But I'm saying, as far as what created energy, there were just a couple names that year that had energy around their name, and Drake is definitely one of them. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Definitely.
2010. So
Don't take that away from me.
my final analysis on 2010 was it was a transitional year. Wayne's in prison. I think he's on Rikers Island. YMCB is coming up. The rise of Drake. You got a big monster year from Kanye. Waka Flocka's outside. You got Lloyd Banks. You got Big Crit dropped his mixtape. You got Friday Night Lights came out. It was a good year. I mean, a lot of Super. You said it was a whack year when we was talking about it. You said it was a whack year, but I think it wasn't all bad. It wasn't the
I,
wackest year.
I ain't
It
gonna
wasn't a
say it
great
was all bad,
mainstream
but
year.
no, to be honest with you though, it was hard making a top 10 list. Like I really had to dig deep. I felt like I was really doing homework with this shit because that shit was whack, man. It was
Hey,
a whack
for
year.
us,
It was a whack.
Teflon Don held it down.
Yeah,
For
Teflon.
us, it was Rick Ross.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
gotta give it to Teflon Don. I gotta give it to Cushion Orange Juice. You know, Big Crit's album was slept on, but you gotta give it to Big Crit. It's a lot of sleepy work out there, or something that was just swept under the rug. That it might sound better now than it did then, or you might know more about it now than you did then. But on the overall, man, both of them Wayne albums was horrible. That shit was trash, B. Like that, it wasn't. It was a lot of trash out here, and the best stuff did come from mixtapes. Like I had Fabulous on
yep.
my on my honorable mentions, but I didn't put it on my list because it was a mixtape. I also had Cam and Vado with the UN. I was bumping that shit back then. I liked the UN album, you know what I'm saying? But it was a mixtape.
Remember that?
I couldn't put it on there. I think that I was really actually enjoying more of the mixtape game than I was even the industry game even
I
back
definitely
then.
was.
You know what I'm saying? And if you even like I said, we do a little bit of
Yeah,
homework on this.
Pilot
If
Talk
you
was
hold
the
on,
joint.
let me say this real quick, but just doing some homework on this, when you Google what they say is the best albums of the year, I don't agree with none of that shit. Like they had like B.O.B. at 1 or 2 on one of them. That shit was whack. I didn't like it like that. It was big and popular, but I can't act like I was liking B.O.B. back then. I didn't think the album was whack. But you go look at these lists, that shit is like they had that like number 1, number 2. Teflon Don would be in the 20s. But we respect that album more. So it
I
wasn't a
think
good year, to be honest. It really wasn't.
with 2010 though, they were willing to give a smaller rapper the same spotlight. So you would see Currency's name right next to Rick Ross' name. That's not gonna happen no more. They're not putting no internet rapper next to a mainstream superstar. Like that's not gonna happen. What Currency did at that time and holding it down for the blog era rappers, he delivered with that pilot talk and held it down for that specific the game. And I think hip hop was more willing to put these other acts, Wiz Khalifa, Big Sean, uh, Saha the Prince, they put them next to these other bigger acts. You know what I mean? Which that was dope. I don't think that's gonna happen again. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I mean, the
it
mixtape
is.
game was still fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like you had some mixtapes that sounded like albums, but then you still really had rappers rapping over other people's beats in 2010. Like how you mentioned Saha. I think he had the Royal Flush mixtape that year. Um, we know Fab dropped, Currency dropped the 2-piece, Wiz had a Cushion Orange Juice, Wale dropped, Cole dropped.
Gucci.
I mean, the mixtape game, we said Gucci dropped like 3 of them. T.I. dropped. Uh, Ross gave us a mixtape and an album and an EP in that year. He was cooking that year. In 2010. Man, it was a
Hey,
Kendrick
but
gave you Over Dedicated. Nipsey gave us the Marathon.
if we
It was a big hit in mixtape world.
if we really want to keep it real too, like it's like I said, it's a lot of revisionist history when we talking about this shit. Because honestly, I don't think none of us at that specific time was really listening to Pilot Talk. I think we went back and listened to Pilot Talk, and we respect it
I
now.
would
But
still.
No.
at
We
that time,
definitely I can't
I
say
don't
that
think I was really
because
listening to Pilot Talk at that specific time.
I can't
that
say that
that
because
was that was my number one interest at that time was seeing what Pilot Talk was going to do because I knew
Wiz
that was
Khalifa
coming
really
from
introduced me to Currency. Like I got put on
right.
from Cushion Orange Juice and from his features and stuff like that. That's really what
I can
introduced me to
understand that.
Currency. And
Currency
by the time I
represents an
really
independent mindset to me, so
See,
I
it was
wanted
different
to
for
see
me.
him win. Yeah,
It was different for me because I was in college. So that's the type of stuff people was listening to. My roommate in college was listening to Pilot Talk. He was listening to Cushion Orange Juice. So when that's being played in the house, I was put on that. But that college time, that's where we get these records. But then that's also when I was outside. So I remember being in the club and hearing No Hands or hearing All the Way Turned Up, or I'm hearing Oh Let's Do It. Or you know what I'm saying? I'm hearing these
yeah.
records in real time. I'm out here. So the music around that time sat with me differently than if you guys on the outside because it was kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of to my demo at that time with the transitional
yeah,
era
yeah.
where
No, I'm tapped into that
me being
demo
in
at that
college,
time.
we were listening to Cole, we were listening to Kendrick, even though that was like pre Good Kid, Mad City. A lot of people didn't come around to him around me until Good Kid, but Overly Dedicated was out. I know people definitely was talking about Kush and Orange Juice. Like these were mixtapes. I think like Finally Famous
That
3 or
demo was the
something
only demo that matters at that
from Big
time.
Sean that year. Yeah, there was some mixtapes that year, man. It was really a mixtape year for real.
Yeah. The only demo that matters in that time period is the college demo. Nobody cares about no other demo at this time. Why? Because they are actually the ones on the blogs, and we see that. So everybody else who's not on the blogs, nobody cared about them. They only care about people that was on social media. Those were the college
You were
kids at that
outside,
time.
bro. That's the
You know what I
difference.
mean?
I didn't. We
You
skimmed
do
the
it.
internet
You can do
to see
both.
who was
You can
dropping
do both.
mixtapes. We
You
was
can
on
do
that
both.
piff. We was on my mixtapes. We was on there
You
to
can do
see
both.
who were dropping mixtapes, but we were really outside, bro. We were
You
really
can do
listening to this music, smoking with women in our college
yeah.
apartments. You know what I'm saying? We was really
So,
kicking
so
with them,
that's why I'm
and the
saying
women
that
were
demo
playing
matters.
these records too. You know what I'm saying? That was a mixtape year. I think what Meek had Flamers 3 that year. Like it was a mixtape year. And we
I'm
were
saying
really
little
outside. It
kids
was
are
my demo, so I know what the environment and what the feel was like for that transitional part of hip hop, bro. And
little
I
kids
could
are
tell
not on
you. You say what now?
like little kids were not online as much as your demo was. My demo was not online as much. Now I'm outside, but the demo that's 5 years older than you were not as prevalent on the internet as your demo at this time. That's why it's a wave of people around your same age that was popping at this time because it's your demo that was
It definitely had
driving
an
that.
influence. Yeah, it
So
definitely had an
my
influence.
demo is the Nas era. We weren't running it in that era. You know what I mean? We came up in the 90s. That you know what I mean? There's a totally different game. You know?
I mean, yeah, I agree with you when you say that. I mean, I was getting back readjusted to hip hop, so some of the things like I had to put my standards down around this time. So that's why I was able to appreciate a Waka Flocka the way I did. And once I really stopped judging them like that and just got with the times, I mean, I actually really enjoyed Waka Flocka, man. And shout out to Waka Flocka
Yeah,
for
he was
real
cool.
because and a lot of people, he the birth of a lot of these dudes. Like I want to say Waka Flocka is responsible for like Chief Keef and really drill music in general. I would say that Waka Flocka is like the father of drill music, to be honest with you. Like just that
Is that
style
a
of
good thing?
yes.
Is that a
I
good
gotta
thing?
say that. People like to try to give it to Chief Keef. They try to call him the father of drill music, but he was biting Waka Flocka. Like, you know what I mean? Like really. It was
Y'all
definitely
ever heard of
Waka
King
Flocka was the
Louis?
father of that shit.
You heard of King Louis?
I
From
mean,
Chicago, right? King Louis from Chicago.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't say like, come on, man. Like you're
Is is,
saying
is
Waka
being the
Flocka took
king of
out.
that
No, that was
something
a
you want?
movement of his own. Chicago had a movement of his own. That's organic to
I,
where
I
that
would
was
have
going on.
I would have to give it to Chief Keef because Chief Keef was the one with that video out
Man,
with the
Chief Keef was y'all
he's the one.
bullying,
Now
man.
I'm
Chief
not
Keef
saying you're
was
No,
a
wrong
Chief
though.
Keef. No,
I'm
let's
not
not do
I'm
that.
not
Chief
saying
Keef
you're
was
wrong.
that guy when he
I'm
did
not
I'm
his
not
saying you're
saying
video.
that.
wrong,
I'm
Chico.
not saying
Yeah,
that he wasn't. I'm
I'm
saying
just
that
saying
Chief
both
Keef
was happening at the
Chief
same
Keef was
time.
a Waka Flocka Flame clone, man. He was a Waka
no,
Flocka Flame
I'm
clone.
not saying you're
no,
wrong.
Who was that before? Was Little Mouse? Was Little Mouse before Chief Keef? Fuck around, and get smoked. You
bro.
know,
That Chicago movement was a movement of his own, bro.
was Mouse before
But
It
Chief
had
Chief
Keef or
no
Keef,
Chief
influence
Keef
by
was
know
before
Waka and all
Mouse?
them what they were doing.
we know Chief Keef was ringing out. He was ringing bells at that time because he had the video. He had,
Man, no,
what
man.
was the
Waka
song?
was hotter than man. Waka was hot like 2-3 years.
We know, we
They
know.
even tried to like
Waka
they
Flocka
even
was
had
hot.
they even
Waka Flocka was hot on TV, and TV matters because it's
No, Waka
TV.
was hot.
But
Period. Waka was hot at that
Chief
time.
TV matters, but Chief Keef was hot on the
man.
internet,
Hey, y'all
and the
y'all wrong.
internet started to take a hold. You know
Y'all
what I
wrong on
mean?
this. And I'm gonna do a little bit. I'm gonna do some study, and we're gonna come back and revisit this. And y'all gonna owe me an apology. Waka Flocka
Now,
started that drill shit. I'm telling you, he
two
No,
really
things could be
started that.
right.
He watch what I tell you. I'm gonna come back. I'm
Two
gonna
things
bring the
can be
info,
right at the
y'all.
same time.
Waka Flocka
You
is
know
the
what I
one
mean?
that they was really biting. They was really
But
biting. The
no,
but
biggest
but
look and everything.
do
no.
they want that though? Do if you associated to that per like Waka Flocka, you started the drill thing. Is he like proud of that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I
I
don't know
mean,
if that's
whatever. It
sensitive
is
to
what it
that.
is. It's nothing. It ain't nothing to be proud of or not proud of. But Waka Flocka started that style. He was bouncing his dreads. He was doing all that. He started that
He was definitely on
in the
TV. Yeah,
rap game, bro. Yes.
yeah, he
Chief
was on
Keef was
TV.
not hot like Waka Flocka Flame. Y'all keep
Right.
forgetting about even the Waka Flocka and
Y'all
Gucci
sounding out
Man,
of touch right now, man.
bro.
No, I'm just no.
I'm telling you
I'm
right
saying
Out of
now.
both of
touch
y'all
right
can be
now,
right.
man.
I'm saying both of
Hey,
y'all can be right. Waka Flocka had his core fan base. Chief Keef also started to build his core fan base. So both is operating at the same time. So I
I'm
think
not
both
really
of y'all can be right.
Mad Max. Mad Max. I'm not talking about the sound of like the current way that drill sound. I'm talking about the whole like the
Look,
subject matter. Like the way that they talk about drill and shit, and the way like that he is the father of it. I said I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna do more homework. We're gonna talk about it on another time
no,
before
I
we
would
move
agree
on.
with
But
you already.
I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be proof. And it was even like a little bit of beef between them when it first started, because Walker was saying that they was biting. So I'm gonna come back
I,
with the
I would
homework. We're gonna look it
I
up.
would
Watch what
agree
I'm
with
telling you.
both. The same parallel I would use is if somebody said, now this is going to sound a little crazy, but if someone said, "Where's Khalifa started the weed thing?" and someone argued, "Well, no, Currency started it." Well, both can be right, because Wiz he had his core base, and Currency also had his core base, and they was going at the same time, even though they was cool with each other. But both can be right. I don't think there's a wrong here. You know what I mean? Both was rocking. You know what I mean? So Waka Flocka was rocking in the mainstream world. Chief Keef was trying to get in that world, but they're both still rocking. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Hey,
I think we got to study the regions. Like every region has their own different sound, right? So you have Plies out of Florida. What's your other man we talked about out of Florida? The guy we like this dude. He was signed to Khaled. Ace Hood.
Ace Hood.
Yeah, Ace
Ace
Hood. You got
Hood.
T Pain out of
He had a
Florida.
record in 2010. He had Hustle Hard in 2010.
Right. So it's very regional, right? You got Miami. You got Ross out of Miami. You had Gunplay. You had
Gunplay just dropped a new project, by the
yeah,
way.
you had a lot of cats out of Miami, right? Then you had the little brother out of Carolina. You had the baby out of out of Carolina. You got Chicago. Chicago took that. You know, Waka Flocka. Who was running with Waka Flocka at that time? Super. It was
OJ
Gucci.
the Juice Man.
it was Gucci Flocka.
OJ the Juice Man.
OJ Juice Man, you know what I'm saying? They had their own sound.
French Nick.
Jeezy
Yeah.
predated them. Then you had Gorilla Zoe. What was that? What was that
Are we
Joe?
talking about a time frame or what?
I'm
What,
just
what are
talking
you
about,
naming?
what I'm
Them
saying
from,
is
bro?
that I'm trying to attribute different sounds. People have different, because you had in Chicago, you had before the drill shit, you had LEP Bogus Boys, right? You know what I'm saying? You had King Louis.
That was fire.
So you had a lot of it was like you have different sects. So it's and they all what I'm trying to say is they all influence one another. So there could be they're separate, but there's influences. People
Yeah,
say they
but
have influence from a lot of different places, is what I'm trying to say.
It, here's the good and bad part about 2010. The thing I don't like about drill is everyone says, okay, you have to keep it real and be authentic. Well, if that's the case, you know what you got to do to be a part of drill music, or else you're not authentic. And that's the
Nah, I
part
just
that
think y'all need to do your research a little bit.
now in 2010, though, the bad part about all the hype that I was talking about and all the energy built up that I was talking about, it is the labels figured out they wasn't gonna get their money back. And that's the bad part, because only a few birds were able to fly into the sunset. A lot of the other ones crashed. So when the labels found out they wasn't going to get their money back the next year, 2011, you don't see no huge budgets like attached to artist names like that no more. You know what I mean? 2012, you see Kendrick, the last guy to come through the door with a Dr. Dre machine. After that, you don't really see that. So this 2010 is like a build up to a fall, just like 1998 is the height of hip hop, only to go back down, because they was like, we can't you can't go higher than a certain point, because now you're entering Michael Jackson territory, and everybody's just not going to be Michael Jackson. And that was like 2010. Maybe Kanye was that in 2010. But after that, you're not going to get higher than Michael Jackson. I think that's the ceiling. And in 2010, we realized that. Ain't no greater than Michael Jackson. You know what I
No,
mean?
I mean,
Or Prince.
2010 is
You
exactly
know?
what Ron said. It's a transitional year. It's the beginning of everybody. I mean, Good Kid, Mad City didn't even drop at that time. Take Care didn't drop at that time. You know, I think the only person that probably had a debut album out already was Cole out of the three. Attention Deficit for Wale, I think it came.
That's the next year.
But the
Yeah.
hype was
So a
building,
lot
though.
of
The
those
hype was
people was
building.
and then ASAP didn't come that year either. Like it was a transitional. We got a lot of great music after 2010, bro. 2010
ASAP
is
was a
exactly what
spark,
Ron said
though.
it was. It was a transitional year.
ASAP was a spark because when ASAP did emerge in 2011, we did look at this guy like, oh, this guy's going to be a star, and he kind of was that, but you know, it was only a few sparks. It's not a lot of ASAP Rockies out here. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think that's a ceiling. You know that 2010 is represents a ceiling, just like 1998 to me. You know what I mean? I don't think we go higher than that, and if we do, who? And of course, yes, Eminem is hotter than everybody. But other than him, like who do we how do we get higher than Kanye West or higher than Drake? How? How? Like
Hey,
how is that
hey,
possible?
I just want to address what I'm really saying about Walker. I'm not saying that he did drill music. I'm saying that he is the spark of that shit. He's the spark of the drill music. He's the
The
spark of that.
energy, the
I mean,
energy,
yeah, yeah. The style, the
the
whole
energy.
spark of that. His
That's
rapping manner,
true.
the things that he was rapping about, how he was rapping. I'm busting at him.
True though.
The songs that he was making was the spark of that drill movement. The way he looked was the spark of that drill movement. It's the spark of it. I'm not saying that what he was doing is specifically drill. You know what I'm
Walker's
saying? Maybe
more
been
considered
other,
punk than he is drill. That was
huh?
mostly
Say again.
closely related to punk than it was drill.
It,
That
it, it
wasn't
was
no
it
drill
was that
impression.
wasn't no
It was
crunk.
more.
That was not crunk, bro. That wasn't crunk. He wasn't
That was
It
jamming.
close.
was
He
the
That's
wasn't.
more
tail end
closely
of
related to
crunk.
crunk than it is drill. Even
It
the
was
It's
the
a.
beats
tail end.
and the sounds was not even sonically the same as drill music, bro. There's no influence
But
from Walker as far as that on there.
I see people
both
trying to say
Waka and
Gucci, but
Chief.
Gucci and drill don't have they. Gucci and drill music was not the same. Gucci is more trap music. Like
But both
Waka's
Waka
style
and
is.
Chief are just
Go
products
ahead.
of what was already both of them are just products of what was already happening in the street anyway. They just got the cameras first, but they just products of what was already happening in the street. They just got the cameras. But in the Bay Area, if it our drill is hyphy, but it's the same thing. People wouldn't think it's the same thing because the musics are different, but the behavior is the same. It's about drilling. That
Yeah,
hyphy really is about drilling.
and
It's
yo,
not
this this
about dancing.
this is a good content, and they probably gonna bite us. We need to do like the hyphy sound. We need to do the origins of that episode about that. We need to
Now,
do
I'm not proud of that.
we need to do
I'm not proud of
we
that.
need to do the origins of drill music, UK drill music, and Chicago and New York, because there's different variants of the Chicago sound, the New York sound,
I
and the
might have to
beats.
bring my dog on here to give a lesson on that.
Yeah, yeah, but
But
bring
listen,
everybody
listen,
on.
listen though, Ron,
Trap
we're
music,
we're playing
the trap music,
we're
because the
playing
origins
with
of trap music are debated. You know what I'm saying? Because Gucci was saying he started it, Tip said he started it. So we need to kind of have these history lessons on this platform. But go ahead, Leroy, cook up.
I
on
really don't
on the
even look at.
surface. It's cool. On the surface, it's cool. If I did a thing about hyphy, everyone would be having fun because on the surface, it's fun. But I know where I live for real, what it really represented was gangster activity. So it's not something I really would hype up, even though I'm proud of the fame it got, but I'm not proud of the street element that niggas that the cameras never saw. And that's drill music. They're proud of the music, but no one's proud of what the cameras don't catch. And that's why I don't want to hype it up too much, because what the cameras don't catch is crazy. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
I
And
mean,
I
this
would
hip
really
hop.
I would
This
I
hip
would
hop,
rather
bro. This ain't an after school special. It is what it is. The shit started. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like we can't. I'm not going to go. I'm not doing that with the rap.
yeah,
It is what it is, bro.
I'm
It's
doing
just
that.
music when it
I'm
come
doing that.
down to it. I mean, that's a whole
I'm
nother
doing that.
topic of discussion. But for what it is, I mean, it's just music, bro. It's just music at the end of the day.
I
It
wish
might.
it was just
We
rapping.
can have
I wish
another side discussion about the destruction of rap. You know, which we was kind of
I
talking
wish
about
it
on the
was
last
just rap.
show, like the destructive behavior that hip hop has influenced. But that's a whole nother subject right now.
Yeah, but I
Well,
mean, we're giving it props like this person invented that. Like, so what, my guy? Like, what did you invent? Popping people? That's what you invented? Okay, like, you know what I'm
Hey,
saying? Like,
regardless, I
okay,
mean, they went platinum, they sold their records, and people was listening to it and
I
bumping it. So it is what it
great.
is when it comes down to it.
Right. I came from the gangster era. I already understand the energy. I'm just saying, why is that still so dope? Like, why? Why are these things so, and it's not just that, but even what I was saying to push back on my own arguments, I was talking about a hype, right? Around a person's name. Why is that so dope? Why is that so dope?
It wasn't because that wasn't what your initial point was, Leroy. Your initial
Why
point
couldn't
was
currency be
that
just
wasn't
as
your initial point. You move a lot of goalposts. Your initial point was that
that
this man was bigger than Kanye at that time. That was
I
literally
did?
what your initial point
So
was.
so you're saying I'm saying Drake was bigger than Kanye without no album.
You
That's
know,
not
you
what I'm
said they were
saying.
comparable. You said they were being compared at the time. Those were your exact
I'm
words.
saying yes, because when you turn on the internet and you look for new albums that are coming out that people want to support, you saw Kanye West's name and you saw Drake's name, and you often saw those names on the same blog, on the same paragraph, in the same industry, on the same channels, on the same radio stations. So yes, these names hovered around each other. Is he exactly Kanye West? No, Drake is not Kanye West. Is his name hovering around mainstream artists? Yes. Yes, it was. That's what I'm saying.
I would even say that even Waka Flocka is responsible and like an inspiration to like a 21 Savage too. You know, I don't think that 21 Savage is really specifically drill music, but it's in the same lane, really, like of drill music. It's just what 21 Savage does to me is Southern drill. You know what I'm saying, really. And so that's what I'm really saying. Like I think Waka inspired a lot of these dudes that did take what he was doing with Crunk and with trap and that blend that he did, because he was unorthodox with his delivery and his style. He was more of a rock star type of, you know what I mean, however you want to look at it. You know, he was headbanging, he was crowd surfing. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah. I think
more of
y'all
that, and
both
they
right.
took
Is it
they took that and they made drill music. You know what I'm saying? That's really all I'm saying. I'm not trying to say that the Pacific title of drill started with Waka Flocka, because no, it wasn't called
no,
that.
but
I'm saying that Waka is the inspiration for drill music.
yes, of course, I can see that. Like, isn't Waka older than Chief Keef? So there you go, right
Yeah,
there. You
yeah.
go.
well, I don't,
So
And
there
he
you
was
go,
out
right
longer
there.
too.
we gotta get some real
He was
shot. We
out
gotta get
longer.
some. What they call them? Chi-town steppers. We gotta get some Chi-town steppers on here to kind of
We
speak
all
they piece on
influence
it.
each other. All the rappers
Hey,
influence each other.
But
If
let's
rappers
wrap
say
up.
they don't influence each other,
yeah.
Let's
go ahead,
wrap up,
Breeze.
guys. Let's have our final thoughts of the night. Let's go in sequence. Servan, final thoughts of the night, brother.
Yo, big ups for the new artists and the music that Soup talked about earlier. The new artists that I spoke about earlier. If you guys are not familiar with them, go check out their music. Tell us how you feel about it. Because like I said, we talk about a lot of what's bad and we don't big up what's good. So if you guys feel it's good, let's big it up. Let's keep that going. As far as 2010, not a big mainstream year. It was a great mixtape year. Not the best mixtape year, but it was a good mixtape year. It was a transitional period. We was getting a lot of debuts, a lot of bumbling and rumblings of artists at that time. And there was a lot of great things that came after that point, but that's exactly what it was. There was a lot of good singles that came out that year. If you're in the club, or you were outside at that time, or if you was like into like that movement that people like Wiz or Currency had going at that time. Even people was on Mac Miller. I'm not even gonna lie, people was on Mac Miller around that time. So if you guys were in the mixtape era and you guys wanted to catch a lot of first, there was a lot of people that was doing things around that time. So go and check what mixtapes was out that year, and if you guys want to get the blast in the past of what 2010 sound like, but it wasn't really heavy on the mainstream album side, but the singles was out there. There were big singles that year. But yeah, there were better. There were better years from that.
Yo, my man in the chat, it's funny. It's funny. So we sounded like KRS One. Man, we know Chicago, man. We know 600 Breezy. We know Kitty Got Bands. We know FBG Duck. You know what I'm saying? We know Little
Man,
JoJo.
fuck
We
y'all
know.
in the chat, man.
No.
Fuck
I'm just
y'all.
saying we know Chicago.
RJ talking about going to Chicago. I bet you if I see you outside, I
Yo,
bet you
I
I'll
didn't
crack
mean
your
no,
fucking head
Leroy.
open. I bet you I'll crack your fucking head
I
open.
was laughing at the joke, man. The joke was
Let's do that.
I
I
was
bet
letting
you
my
I'll
man
crack your fucking head.
I was letting my man know
Off
that we
to
know
death in real life.
my man. I was letting them know
Let's
that
find out.
we know about Chicago, bro. 600 Breezy, Katie Got
Sucker,
Bands, Little
bitch,
Reese,
cocksucker.
yo,
Dirt. You know, we know the scene.
yo.
We know the
Suck
vibes. You know what
suck
I'm
a
saying?
dick and die.
We ain't that
How
out of
about that?
touch, man. But
Leroy, chill, man.
Bro,
chill
God
out,
damn.
man.
Okay.
Chill, man. We gotta have some. We have to have some professional decorum on here, man. You know what I'm saying?
come on,
That's not work. It's not becoming of what we try to do, bro. Superman. What's your final thoughts of the night? That's like unnecessary.
um, shit, I don't know. I done lost the train of my thought after that shit. I would say that you know, if y'all missed the list, you know what I mean, go back to the beginning of the video and you know,
oh
that's some
man,
homework. That's the homework. You know, I'm always big on giving out homework when I'm on the show. So that's some of the homework, man. Go find some of these new artists that y'all like and get into some of this new music because like I said, the industry ain't feeding us right now. So we gotta start digging through the crates, digging through the internet, digging through your Spotify playlist, listening to some of these new artists when they drop, and go
facts.
find what you like. You know what I mean? It's been some fire shit out here. Like I said, everything that I list, everything that I mentioned earlier, I know a lot of our crowd is not going to be probably into it like that, and I'm not trying to act like everything is just. I don't think everything is dope and everything is fire, but it's some good qualities out of this new music and the shit that has dropped this year that we ain't even been talking about. Nobody really been highlighting it. So, you know, go find some of that new music that y'all do. Like I just led y'all on the path. I'm sure out of
Nah,
the
you gave him
guys,
a lot of shit.
yes, I gave you
You gave
enough
him
to
a lot,
go find
and
We
you
gotta
would have
something
kept
organize.
that you
going
should
too.
like.
I know, man. You took
Yeah,
a,
yeah.
And honestly, I can keep going. I got a couple more, but you know what I mean? I got more, but I'll save it for another time. For real.
You took a damn hour. I gotta
Yeah.
organize all this shit in a list. I need an Excel spreadsheet to put all the rappers you put in there. But it's all good, man. But Leroy, I was gonna give the last word, man. But shit, you already said the last word. I couldn't even hear you. You were interrupting me while I was speaking, which is very rude.
I thought Leroy
Yeah.
had dropped the mic
That was
after
very
that.
rude.
I thought it was done from that.
That was very rude because I was giving
Hey,
shout out
hey,
to the Chicago artists and I was trying to make a point, and he was very interrupting me. I couldn't even get my point out. But Leroy, what
hey,
say you? What's your last word, man?
hey, hold on, man. That nigga said cocksucker. dog.
Who? Who said that? I couldn't even hear because I was talking. Who said that? Who?
Leroy.
Look, man.
Come on, man. We gonna get
Look.
us. You gonna get a strike on this shit, man. Come on, man.
That
I didn't
nigga
even
said
hear.
cocksucker. dog.
Y'all chill with that. We gonna get a strike.
No. I'm saying,
And I
let's
gotta appeal.
quit playing with me.
I gotta appeal this shit to
Quit
YouTube
playing with
to
me.
bring the channel back. You saying this shit? You can't say shit. Come on, B. I mean, come on.
Okay, we'll quit playing with me. Okay, everybody
I
quit
feel
playing
you,
with me.
but you come on. Come on.
I'm not here for play.
Don't
I'm
watch
not here
that.
for
Don't watch the
I'm not
comments. I
I'm
get
not
you.
one of them dudes.
It's
I'm not one
gonna
of
be
them dudes.
crying over here, dog.
I'm not one of them dudes. All right?
Oh,
Y'all have a
man.
good night, man. I ain't one of them dudes, man. Quit playing with me. I don't care who it is or what's happening. I don't care. Let's be clear. I respect others. Y'all respect me. But other than that, 2010 was fire. Everybody did their thing. But people in the chat, quit playing with me, man. I'm not that. I'm not that. I'll really do something to you. Okay? Good night.
This nigga trying to jump through the computer screens.
Leroy was serious,
Yo,
Yeah,
man.
I'll really do something to you.
hit like and subscribe. Um, on behalf of Recording Hip Hop, we apologize for the transgressions of the evening. But we do want to have respectful conversations, yo. Leroy's just probably he WWE in it right now, which is cool. You know, we ain't no internet gangsters. You know what I'm saying? We podcasters, B. We know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know the waves.
I'm trying to get some trolls. So if y'all disagree with me, get at my head in the comment section. I need some trolls. So you know
Yeah, man.
I feel it. I be trolling. Y'all
Let,
know I'm in the internet streets, man. I'm in all the chats. I'm talking my shit everywhere. So you know what I mean. I keep it respectful, but I need some more. I need some trolls. So I ain't mad. You know what I mean? I respect y'all for coming back just to even troll. So y'all can get at my head if y'all want to.
Yeah,
Troll
I
me.
thought the
Give
comment
me
was
one thing.
funny. I thought the comment was
Troll
funny
me.
about us being KRS-One.
Nah,
I thought the
nah.
KRS
I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's funny.
I thought the KRS-One comment was funny. I thought it was funny. I liked it. It made me
Yeah,
laugh.
okay, that was kind of funny. But if we're gonna talk about drilling and we talking about me and with the real context,
Bro, let's
well,
stay off it, G.
let's really do that. Let's
Let's stay
really do
off it,
that then.
G.
I
Let's
ain't
stay
see.
off
I'm
it,
this.
I must have missed something, man. I must
Let's
have missed.
yeah. I think you must have missed something because
I don't
these
know where this shit is coming from.
this same person gets to play with me every episode. They don't play with nobody else. Now I'm cool with it, but just to let you know, I'll crack your head open in real life. That's all I'm saying. It's just that simple.
bro.
Just that
Bro, we
simple.
gotta pause. We gotta come on,
It's
man. We
just
gotta
that
stop.
simple.
Hey, I get it. Comments piss me off sometimes too.
Do we
Y'all done
get
seen
it?
me show before. I get it. And I know you
Now,
love
if
this hip
if
hop
I'm just
stuff,
the
Leroy,
internet,
but come
cool.
on, bro.
We
I
can
didn't.
we can
I
okay.
and I'm
right
sitting here
now.
this whole time thinking a KRS-One comparison made you that man. I said, "Damn, KRS got you. KRS-One got you hated." I must have
Come on,
missed
man.
something. Shit,
No,
I don't
no.
know.
What made me mad was let's see Leroy go to Chicago and see what happens to him or something to that effect.
Oh,
Well,
I didn't
let's
see
do
that.
that.
I didn't.
Let's
That's
do that.
correct. Yeah.
Let's do that.
Bro,
You know,
I
do
mean,
that.
yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
disrespectful. All he
Let's
said
do
was,
that.
let's record
Let's do
Leroy
that.
going to let's record Leroy going to
Let's do that.
Chicago and counsel
Let's do that.
the drill rappers. That's all he said was counsel
Let's
the
do
drill
that.
rappers. It wasn't no big deal. I don't think it was extra disrespectful or nothing. It was funny.
come
Let's do
on,
that.
Shout out to
man.
Let's do that.
RJ, man.
Okay. So don't play with me. Play with Super,
Bro,
play with Servan, and play with Ron. Don't ever play
let's
with
wrap
me.
it up, man. Let's wrap it up, man. Let's
Anyway,
not do
I'm
that.
gone, man.
hit like and
Let's not do
subscribe.
that.
Make sure you tell a friend and tell a friend. We're on the march to 100,000 subscribers. We're sitting on close to 19,000 right now. We got some big interviews in the works. Shout out to Savon. Savon's got an interview coming out. Shout out to Go Talk. Shout out to the Classic Series. Shout out to the Weekend Rhyme. Shout out to Rhymes and Reasons. We got a crazy show coming in the fall. Top secret. We got actually 2 or 3 shows coming in the fall. I ain't even told y'all brothers the shows we got. We got a wild show coming in the fall. Starring your boy Ron. I'm going on the road, and it's gonna be wild. Every Saturday, I'll give you a little hint because I don't want these swagger jackets to take it. Every Saturday, I'm gonna be at a different location during the fall, and we gonna catch the vibes.
Dope.
You know what I'm saying? Me and my truck. I just say it like that. But anyway, hit like and subscribe, man. We really appreciate you. Could be anywhere in the world tonight, but you're here with us. According to hip hop, that's Servan, that's Leroy Green, that's Super Duper. I am Ron. Shout out to Mike, shout out to Vay, and we'll see y'all Saturday, the Weekend Rhyme. Peace.
Peace. Love, y'all. Love.